Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So before we start the seminar, I would like to invite everyone to Indonesia, okay. So, Mas Roni ya gitu bahasa Inggris. Oke, selamat siang semuanya. Sebelum kita mulai acara kita hari ini, saya mau menyambut semua untuk bangkit berdiri. Kita akan memulai dengan pujian dan penyembahan. Yang tahu lagu ini kita sama-sama nyanyikan ya. You know me by name. You called me. You called me. For all of my days, I'll go where you would go. See, though I walk through the valley, I am safe. I am safe in your arms, in the face of life's mysteries. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'll never walk alone. I'll never walk alone. With you by my side. With you by my side, your spirit lives within me. No longer I'm afraid. With you by my side, with you by my side. Oh, we'll never walk alone. Say, fallen from grace. Fallen from grace, you save me. Oh, you save me, you save me. Oh, bright as the day, salvation shines for all. Though I walk through the valley, we are safe with you, Lord. I am safe in your arms, in the face of life's mysteries. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Oh, I'll never walk alone. I'll never walk alone. With you by my side. With you by my side. Your spirit lives within me. No longer I'm afraid. With you by my side. With you by my side, I'll never walk alone. I'll never walk alone. With you by my side. Oh, with you by my side. Your spirit, you live in us. No longer I'm afraid. With you by my side. With you by my side, I will go where you would go. Take the lead and I will follow you to places no one goes. Say the word and I will, come on, let's declare it together. Go where you would go. Take the lead and I will follow you to places no one goes. Say the word and I will follow. I will go where you would go. Take the lead and I will follow you to places no one goes. Say the word. Once again, say I will go. I will go where you would go. Take the lead and I will follow you to places no one goes. Say the word and I will follow. I will go where you take the lead, Lord. I will follow you to places no one goes. Say the word and I will follow you. I'll never walk alone. I'll never walk alone. With you by my side. With you by my side. Your spirit lives within me. No longer I'm afraid. With you by my side. With you by my side. I'll never walk alone. With you by my side. Oh, with you by my side. Your spirit within me, no longer I'm afraid. With you by my side. With you by my side. Yes, sir. Thank you, Lord.
Yuk kita berdoa. Tuhan, kami mengucap syukur untuk siang hari ini kalau kami boleh berkumpul bersama-sama. Tuhan, siang hari ini kami mau belajar. Kami mau diperlengkapi dan kami mau membuka hati. Terima kasih dalam nama Tuhan Yesus. Amin. Amin. Silakan duduk Bapak Ibu semuanya. Oke, terima kasih karena saudara semua ini bersedia untuk datang dan diperlengkapi ya. Dan hari ini bersama-sama dengan kita ada Pastor Timothy Lo. Pastor Timothy ini adalah yang memimpin untuk every nation di Southeast Asia. Memang Southeast Asia-nya every nation agak beda dengan Southeast Asia-nya geography, oke? Tapi yang benar yang mana Bapak Ibu? Tentu Southeast Asia-nya every nation, ya toh, ya. Jadi Pastor Tim ini sibuk Bapak Ibu ya. Jadi kalau ada kesempatan dia bisa datang ke Surabaya, satu privilege, dan beliau akan share bagaimana untuk engage kepada orang yang terhilang, dan judulnya Engage 2.0. Nah, dan saya tidak perpanjang, mari kita sambut Pastor Timothy. Oke. Oh, by the way, ada putri dari Pastor Timothy ini, putri yang terakhir ya, keempat. Ya, Joanna, why don't you stand up? Ya, this is Joanna. Oke. Ibu Teresa nanti akan datang nanti malam ya. Jadi besok Bapak Ibu akan ketemu. Oke, Pastor Tim, please.
Okay. All right, I'm so happy to be here.
You want to stand up there or here? Which one is better?
Here, okay?
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay, here is better.
Closer, ya.
Yeah. You know I become too tall.
Layar yang ini enggak nyala ini.
Oh, the video, would that be a problem? Do I need to be, for the video's sake, do I need to be up? Or
Oh, nggak apa-apa. Ini videonya nggak. Oke. Yang ini yang nggak bisa. Oke.
Okay, as long as I don't look dark,
Ya.
the light thing. All right. So, you are going to do the translation for me?
Ya.
Oh, okay.
Ya.
So
Yeah.
I want to begin by saying that I'm so happy to be here.
Oke, saya senang sekali bersama-sama dengan saudara.
I wonder, yesterday Pastor Benny asked whether can I preach in Bahasa Malaysia.
Ya, jadi saya gimana kalau Pastor Tim ini besok preachingnya that will be good. I don't need to translate. Ya, di dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Saya bisa.
Bisa.
Ya.
Ken.
Tapi orang tak akan faham. Just kidding. I can preach, but you may not be guaranteed to be able to understand. Okay.
Oke.
So actually, me and my wife supposed to be here together, but today is election day.
Ya seharusnya istri beliau ini akan datang sama-sama hari ini ada, tapi hari ini pemilu di Malaysia.
So my wife is very passionate for this nation, so am I, but because of all the arrangements, so I decided that I will travel and then she will vote in the morning and then she will travel tonight.
Ya, jadi sebenarnya kami berdua ini sangat passionate dengan apa yang terjadi di Malaysia dan pengen ikut nyoblos ya, tapi akhirnya istri kami yang tinggal dan saya ada di sini untuk melayani saudara.
So my daughter is coming along with us, and then we are going to go Bali together.
Ya.
Some of you may not know, I got 3 boys happily with 3 boys, and then we stopped, but God said don't stop. Then 5 years later we have my daughter.
Ya, jadi kami ini punya 3 anak laki-laki. Kami berpikir waktu itu stop, ternyata Tuhan katakan jangan stop. 5 tahun kemudian kami punya Joanna.
And now with her we are complete.
Nah sekarang sudah selesai, 4 komplit.
So all my kids are doing well. My eldest son actually is right now in Japan. He doesn't work for Japan, but he can work anywhere else in the world as long as he has a computer.
Oke, jadi anak saya yang pertama ini sekarang di Jepang, tapi dia tidak harus bekerja di Jepang karena dia bisa bekerja di mana aja asal ada komputer.
So in Malaysia, sometimes he work at the rock climbing place.
Ya, jadi kadang di Malaysia dia ada di base-nya untuk pendakian gunung, bisa kerja sana selama ada signal.
So he climbed the rock climbing, and then he come down, he work, and that's the way he works.
Ya,
Okay.
jadi dia bisa kerja, terus kemudian daki gunung, nanti turun kerja lagi.
My second son is going to graduate, and then my third son just entered into university, and my daughter is enjoying her holiday.
Ya, jadi yang kedua sudah barusan selesai, yang ketiga baru masuk ke universitas, yang keempat liburan di Surabaya.
So I'm so happy to be with Pastor Benny, really.
Ya, saya senang sekali ada di sini. Ya.
We have a lot in common, we realize.
Ya, kami ini banyak kemiripannya. Ya.
We are both of the same year we were born.
Ya, lahir di tahun yang sama,
Birthday on the same month.
di bulan yang sama.
Obviously, happy birthday, bro. Okay. And he is a businessman. I used to be a businessman.
Ya, saya masih berusaha dan beliau ini dulu juga pengusaha.
We both pastors.
Dan kami mengembalakan.
We love to eat.
Kami suka makan, kelihatan kan saudara? Saya kelihatan, Pastor Tim not so much. Ya.
No, same. We got 4 children.
Ya, kita punya 4 orang anak.
And I think we both are very handsome.
Ya. Katanya ini katanya beliau, saudara. Kami berdua ini ganteng.
Sama-sama.
Sama-sama.
Alright, that's what they say, okay. You know, the last time I came to Surabaya was your old church premise.
Jadi waktu saya datang ke Surabaya, kami ini khotbah di PTC dulu.
So now I'm here, this is a new church premise.
Ya, jadi ini tempat yang baru.
Hopefully the next time I come, there's another new premise.
Jadi kalau nanti datang lagi ada tempat yang baru lagi. Ya.
I want to say that please come to Malaysia. When you come Malaysia, please give us a call.
Ya, jadi kalau datang ke Malaysia, hubungi kami.
We have 10 churches.
Kami ada 10 gereja di sana.
And we are planting potentially next year another 3 to 4 more.
Ya, tahun depan kemungkinan 3 atau 4 lagi.
We are really, wanting to honor God, make disciple, and make that to be as alive, as real as possible.
Jadi kami mau menghidupi apa yang menjadi slogan kita, yaitu honor God, make disciple. Menghormati Tuhan, menjadikan murid.
And part of the story I'm going to tell as I do this training was to share with every one of you the changes that has happened in our lives.
Dan kami akan bagikan apa yang terjadi dalam kehidupan kami dan perubahan apa yang kami lakukan.
So we call it Engage 2.0 was because I wanted to bring in a fresh perspective. How do we engage people who do not know God?
Jadi kenapa saya berikan judul training ini Engage 2.0 karena saya ingin memperlihatkan perspektif yang lain bagaimana kita engage atau berhubungan dengan orang yang terhilang.
Evangelism is not doing well all over the world.
Penginjilan itu sebenarnya nggak terjadi dengan baik di seluruh dunia.
Okay. Statistics shows historically only less than 10% of Christians would think about evangelism.
Statistik mengatakan hanya kurang dari 10% orang Kristen yang memikirkan tentang penginjilan.
So you are here today, I hope you are those who think about evangelism.
Saya berharap saudara yang hadir tempat ini hari ini adalah orang-orang yang berpikir tentang penginjilan.
That you really feel the importance of having Great Commission in your heart.
Sehingga saudara merasa bahwa amanat agung itu betul-betul penting.
And it took me really a season of my life to derive at the importance of Great Commission.
Jadi itu perlu waktu proses dalam kehidupan saya untuk sampai melihat pentingnya amanat agung.
Because Christianity, there are so many things that can occupy you.
Karena di dalam kekristenan begitu banyak hal lain yang bisa menyibukkan kita.
As a church, there's so many things you can do. You can do children, you can do education, you can do so many things to actually be busy about.
Jadi sebagai gereja kita ini bisa sibuk pelayanan anak-anak, sekolah, apapun. Kita bisa jadi sangat sibuk.
And my philosophy is everything that we do ends with evangelism.
Tetapi filosofi saya adalah apapun yang kita lakukan akhirnya, ujungnya harusnya penginjilan.
Because that's the way the Bible teaches us.
Karena itu yang diajarkan Alkitab.
So which is why Matthew 28 is the last portion of the Bible that gives meaning to Matthew chapter 1 to and Matthew 27.
Jadi Matius 28 itu adalah bagian yang terakhir yang memberikan makna dari Matius 1 sampai 27.
So it's almost take you a journey through Jesus' life and you go Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all the same. At the end of Jesus' life, Jesus help us to make sense why the Great Commission is so important.
Jadi kalau kita melihat dari Matius yang pertama sampai 27 dan itu juga telah terjadi di Markus, Lukas dan yang Yohanes yang lainnya, apa itu membuat masuk make sense ya dari apa yang Tuhan Yesus lakukan mulai dari pertama sampai akhir hidupnya.
If you read a storybook, it's the last chapter that makes sense of the rest of the chapter.
Kalau saudara baca cerita di buku, maka chapter yang bab terakhir itu yang membuat kalian paham apa yang penting di dalam seluruh buku itu.
If you watch the End Game, which is Marvel, how many of you watch End Game Part 1 and say, that's it, I watched the movie, done.
Ada yang nonton Endgames gak? Yang dimana saudara setelah nonton bagian yang pertama, saudara katakan oke, selesai, sudah.
Spider-Man dies, a lot of people die.
Ya, karena banyak yang mati.
Right, and
Yeah.
then you never watch Part 2.
Dan kemudian saudara tidak lihat bagian yang kedua.
It is Part 2 that brings meaning to Part 1.
Bagian yang kedua memberikan arti bagian yang pertama.
Every storybook, every movie plot is always the end that gives meaning.
Jadi di dalam setiap buku cerita adalah bab yang terakhir yang memberikan makna kepada keseluruhan buku itu.
And I think Great Commission is the one that gives you meaning to the Great Commandment, to everything that we know about who God is.
Jadi sebenarnya amanat agung itu yang memberikan perintah kepada perkara-perkara yang lain di dalam Alkitab.
So it's very important as we talk about engage.
Jadi sangat penting untuk kita bicara tentang engage.
Okay, now, just before we talk about engage, all of you know that every nation is really wanting to create a culture of discipleship.
Sebelum kita mulai, saya hanya ingin menekankan kembali bahwa di dalam every nation kita mau untuk membangkitkan pemimpin.
So it is not just getting people saved, but I call it from lost to a leader. You are trying to take someone who don't know anything about God and bring them to be a leader.
Jadi bukan hanya membuat orang yang terhilang itu bertobat, tetapi mulai dari yang terhilang sampai akhirnya dia jadi pemimpin.
So we have the 4 E's. Do you all talk about the 4
Yeah.
E's, right? The 4
Yeah.
E's, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is engage, establish, equip, empower.
Ya, kita
Okay.
empat E ya, engage, establish, equip, empower.
Did you all say that? Melibatkan diri, meneguhkan. Is that
Ya,
how you all say?
melibatkan diri, meneguhkan,
Melengkapi,
but
okay.
we do by the English. Is
Okay,
easier.
the 4 E's, right? Okay, now, every stage has different challenges and different muscles.
Ya, dan setiap bagian ini itu punya prosesnya dan tantangannya sendiri dan mengembangkannya ada otot rohani tertentu yang kita kembangkan.
So every church only grows strong and healthily when engage is strong, establish is strong, equip is strong, empower is strong.
Jadi sebuah gereja itu menjadi sehat kalau mulai dari engage-nya kuat, establish, equip, empower semuanya kuat.
If your church is strong in empower, just a lot of leaders.
Kalau gereja itu hanya kuat di empower, jadi banyak pemimpinnya.
But you never go back to engage. You just have whole bunch of leaders. Everybody is a leader, but no one is following.
Kalau semuanya itu pemimpin karena empowernya hebat, tetapi tidak ada yang menjangkau.
If you're having a lot of people getting saved, but ultimately you do not grow them to empower them, you have your big bottleneck in leadership.
Kalau sebaliknya kuat di dalam penginjilan, semua banyak yang bertobat tapi nggak ada yang dibangkitkan jadi pemimpin, maka juga ada masalah.
Okay, without any discussion, let me just ask everybody and you just have to lift up your hand, okay?
Oke, sekarang kalau nanti ditanya langsung aja angkat tangan kalau tahu jawabannya ya.
Okay. How many of you think that for every nation Surabaya here, engage is your weakest? Engage is your weakest.
Oke, di antara saudara dari keempat ini engage, establish, equip, empower. Kalau kita bicara every nation Surabaya, siapa yang merasa engage ini penjangkauan menjadi titik yang paling lemah? Angkat tangan.
Yeah. Whether you're a leader or doesn't matter, just your opinion, okay?
Ya,
Lift
ini
up, lift
opini saudara ya.
up. Okay, maybe I got one.
Oke, siapa yang merasa penjangkauan itu menjadi titik yang paling lemah di dalam jemaat kita?
Okay, maybe about 20 over slightly. How many of you think establish?
Siapa yang merasa establish yang menjadi kekurangan kita?
Okay. Wow, nobody thinks it's established. Bro, very established.
Very established.
Yeah. Established, no problem means live group, no problem. One-to-one, no problem. Victory weekend. You know what I'm saying? People want to be water better, all that, okay? How many of you think equip?
Siapa yang merasa diperlengkapinya kurang, equipnya yang kurang?
We do not have the right kursus, whatever, okay?
Seminarnya kurang,
Okay,
diperlengkapinya kurang ya.
Okay, how many of you think is empower?
Siapa yang merasa empower?
Okay.
Siapa yang nggak ada di ruangan?
Yeah. So there is about half of you actually you all don't know what to think.
Jadi separuh nggak tahu nih mau jawab yang mana.
Okay, maybe you don't get that to lift out. Doesn't matter, okay? But commonly, a lot of churches engage is the weakest link.
Jadi secara umum kebanyakan itu engage atau penjangkauan itu menjadi titik yang paling lemah.
Okay, so the starting point is really engage.
Jadi sebetulnya poin permulaannya itu di engage.
Later when I tell you the story, I want you to know that the journey that I've taken was to take someone engage all the way to see them to become a leader.
Jadi sebentar nanti saya akan tunjukkan satu cerita bagaimana saya mulai dari orang yang dijangkau sampai dia ini jadi pemimpin.
Okay, there's a little survey that I need you to do to help me and maybe Pastor Benny to understand how do you think about evangelism?
Ya, ada survei yang saudara bisa ikuti. Jadi semuanya kan bawa smartphone ya.
Yeah, can you yes.
Ini kan di sini deh ya. Kalau enggak dapat karena posisi silakan pindah. Makanya tolong kalau nggak bisa dapat yang di sini pindah aja supaya bisa.
Okay.
Terus surveinya bisa dilakukan.
you don't have to do it now, but later we create a break, you can do it then.
Oke, tidak
Oke.
perlu dilakukan sekarang, tapi nanti ada break, Bapak Ibu bisa lakukan ya.
Okay, now. So I hope you have snapped the, if not later we can show it again, doesn't matter. Okay, so let me read this, okay? Great Commission only becomes real when one person emotionally connects to it and owns it.
Jadi amanat agung hanya menjadi kenyataan apabila seorang secara emosi terhubung dengannya dan merasa memilikinya.
You know, everything in life, until you're emotionally connect to it, it actually means very little to us.
Jadi segala sesuatu kalau nggak secara emotionally terhubung dengan kita, itu artinya sangat minim.
The war between Ukraine and Russia,
Bahkan perang Rusia dan Ukraine,
until all your things of your prices increase, then only you feel a bit about it.
ya kalau harga-harga nggak naik, saudara nggak pernah merasa terkoneksi dengan perang itu.
Until I know Pastor Oleg, which is our Every Nation pastor in Ukraine, which I had breakfast with him when I was in Turkey a couple of weeks ago. He's a friend of mine, and when I knew about the war, I felt because I know him.
Ya, karena saya mengenal Pastor Oleg yang mengembalakan di Ukraine dan pernah makan pagi bersama-sama beberapa waktu yang lalu di Turki, saya merasa emotionally terkoneksi dengan perang itu.
When you hear about a child is lost, but when it's your son and your daughter, the whole emotional connection and your response is very different.
Kalau saudara mendengar ada anak yang hilang sampai saudara tahu bahwa anak itu anak saudara, maka saudara segala emosinya akan ikut serta.
So my first part of this is to help you to get in touch with how emotionally are we connected with evangelism.
Jadi saya pengen untuk membawa saudara supaya bisa secara emosional terhubung dengan apa yang namanya penginjilan itu.
You know, all of us know that there are 3 different level of knowledge towards anything in life.
Di dalam semua pengetahuan ada 3 level tentang knowledge atau pengetahuan itu, apapun itu.
The first one is I know.
Yang pertama itu saya tahu.
The second one is I do.
Yang kedua adalah saya lakukan.
The third one is I feel.
Yang ketiga adalah saya merasa.
See, I'm a badminton player.
Saya ini, Pastor Tim ini suka main badminton.
Yeah, I used to play competitive.
Dan ikut pertandingan.
Now I eat competitive, that's all.
Ya, sekarang pertandingannya hanya di area kulineri.
Okay, so, but if I were to ask you, does everybody know badminton? You potentially say, yeah, I know. It's a racket, a shuttlecock.
Ya, kalau saya tanya, saudara tahu tentang badminton nggak? Semua saudara akan mengatakan saya tahu, saya pernah lihat raketnya, shuttlecocknya saya tahu.
You know this is a badminton court. You kind of know when you watch. You know this is Alan Budi Kusuma. You know this is right Lee Chong Wei. You kind of know their name, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of know. But how many of you would agree with me? To know and to do is very different.
Ya, saudara mungkin tahu pemainnya ini, pemain zaman jadul, Alan Budi Kusuma, Lee Chong Wei, ya. Hanya saudara tahu bukan berarti saudara involved, ya.
I used to watch the television and saw our national women player, and I used to laugh at the way they play at the from the TV.
Ya, saya pernah nonton pertandingan ya untuk putri Malaysia dan saya nontonnya sambil ketawa terhadap permainan putri ini Malaysia.
So when I was playing competitively, one day I played against our national number 3 single player.
Dan pada waktu saya masih bertanding, saya bertanding melawan ranking 3 secara nasional di Malaysia.
And then she's laughing at me now.
Nah, sekarang yang perempuan itu yang ketawain saya. Ya.
I have to play 3 games and just barely beat her in front of all the coaches, okay? So good, okay?
Ya. Dan pada waktu itu ternyata saya hampir aja baru bisa menang terhadap dia. Dia begitu bagus.
So I know I do, but how many of you know that there are different categories, those I feel?
Ya, jadi ada bedanya antara saya tahu, saya lakukan dengan saya merasakan.
So when it comes to badminton, I feel.
Kalau badminton, saya sudah sampai tahap saya merasakan.
So 2 weeks ago, I came back from Turkey. I took 12 hours flight to midnight from Turkey. I arrived Malaysia about 9 a.m. in the morning.
Ya, jadi 12 jam dari Turki ke Malaysia, pesawat malam, tengah malam sampai di Malaysia jam 9 pagi.
10 o'clock, I'm in badminton court.
Jam 10 pagi di lapangan badminton.
Okay, because I'm passionate about the game.
Jadi karena Pastor Tim ini passionate kalau badminton.
So those who are passionate for food will drive for 5-6 hours just to eat something.
Ya, kalau saudara yang passionate sama kulineri bisa 5 jam menjelajah bumi hanya untuk makan soto ayam.
You know, so most of us, I think we become I know and maybe a bit I do, but very few feels for evangelism.
Jadi mungkin di antara saudara, saya tahu, mungkin semua kita, ya, saya lakukan, sebagian dari kita, sangat jarang yang saya merasakan tentang evangelism.
In the Bible, the 12 disciples, they felt for evangelism.
12 murid di Alkitab itu sampai kepada kategori merasa tentang evangelism
When
ini.
Jesus said, go and make disciples, they literally went all over the world. Thomas to India and Matthew to, towards the southern part, some to Europe. I mean, they took the gospel all over the world.
Jadi pada waktu Tuhan Yesus mengatakan pergi jadikan seluruh bangsa murid itu, mereka sungguh-sungguh merasakan hal itu dan pergi ke segala bangsa. Thomas ke India dan semua rasul semuanya ikut.
So this is how Paul says it.
Dan ini yang dikatakan oleh Rasul Paulus.
Now I want you to know this is how Paul would make the statement about engage.
Dan ini yang Paulus katakan atau statement pernyataan Paulus tentang engage atau penginjilan.
He says, I'm obligated.
Dan dikatakan saya punya kewajiban.
And then he says, I'm so eager.
Dan dikatakan saya ingin sekali.
And then finally he said, I'm not ashamed.
Dan yang berikutnya dikatakan di dalam bahasa Inggrisnya dikatakan aku tidak malu.
Yes. You know, I wonder, how would you say it if you were to make a statement about the gospel? How would you say it for yourself? How would you, maybe I'm shy. Maybe I try lah.
Ya. Jadi kalau statement atau pernyataan pribadi Anda gimana? Kita gimana ya? Kalau Paulus mengatakan aku punya kewajiban, kalau saudara apa? Aku malu atau aku berusaha atau apa?
Okay, so I want you to go into a group of 3 to 4.
Oke. Ya, langsung aja kelompok 3, kelompok 4 ya.
Up to you, okay?
Ya, mulai diskusikan kata-kata apa yang cocok buat saya dengan saudara kalau berbicara tentang penginjilan.
Yes. So later I will ask around what are some common statements you all will make that you will own up to the statement. Okay? Yes.
Oke, setelah itu nanti saya akan membantu saudara untuk sampai kepada statement yang keluar dari hati saudara. Ya, 3 orang, 4 orang, laki perempuan gak masalah ya. Kira-kira tentang penginjilan apa kata yang cocok buat saudara?
Yes. We give about 2 minutes, yeah, so that you can just take your time to share.
2 menit ya. Gimana?
Udah. So fast.
Oke, instruksinya kata apa yang cocok buat saudara
Yes.
tentang penginjilan. Kalau Paulus, aku merasa merupakan kewajiban bagiku. Apa kalau kata-kata saudara apa? Aku malu, aku berusaha, aku tidak tahu. Aku apa tentang penginjilan? Aku
That's right.
titik-titik tentang penginjilan. Apa titik-titik itu? Diskusikan. Itu loh.
Okay. Okay, I see most of the group are done.
Oke, hampir semuanya udah selesai ya.
Okay. All right, let me hear from a few. Just choose the leader. Let me hear from DJ's group. DJ, who is
Oke,
going to share?
oke.
Oke.
Siapa yang mau? Ya, aku apa? Fian, ayo.
Yeah, from
Aku
the
apa?
group. Yeah.
You don't know what to do. Saya tidak tahu apa yang harus dilakukan tentang penginjilan. I don't know what to do about evangelism. Oke, ini
Oke.
kelompok ini. Ya,
Okay, maybe the next one. I think they're
ya,
done.
ibu-ibu.
The three ladies group.
Kalau kita bertiga sepakat dengan I'm obligated, I'm so eager juga, dan saya juga merasa I'm not ashamed of the gospel.
Oh, so you can say what Paul said. Wow, very good. Okay, all right. Maybe from okay, this group maybe Noor's group, yeah.
Oke, this from dari dua ini I want.
I want. Okay.
Kalau saya I want more.
Okay. All right. There's no but lah, huh? But okay, you want. Okay, let me hear from behind, maybe that side. Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, yeah, just pass on. Yeah.
Ya, Meh. Kita juga I want tapi susah, merasa susah juga.
Yeah, I want, but difficult, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's real. Okay, behind, am I? Just pass on.
We would say we try our best. We would try our best to do the Great
Okay,
Commission.
Okay.
From our group, we say, some say I'm trying, some say we try to make time, some say confused and shy, but we all agree that we have the heart for evangelism. That's why we're here. Yeah.
High for evangelism.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Now, any other group have different answers? Answers like,
Ya.
I'm
Ada yang
afraid
punya
of rejection.
punya jawaban yang agak beda.
Okay,
Saya
over
pastor.
here. Yes, go ahead.
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, there. Okay, yes. You know where you are.
Yeah. I'm longing to serve.
Okay, very
He
good.
said he said he's called to serve.
Oh, okay.
He said find the meaning of serve.
Okay.
And this apa?
I never stop serving.
He's obligated.
It's obligated. Okay, what about from Rodney? Rodney, your group. Yes, they lift up their hand. Okay.
Jadi ada jawaban pertama, takut. Awalnya takut, ternyata dengan berjalan waktu jadi terobsesi. Yeah.
Obsessed about it. Huh?
Yeah.
So if you're... Okay. Okay, good. All right, anybody else? Anybody from that side? Maybe, Ratna, your side. Anybody have any interesting answer?
Nominasi.
I'm shy.
We're same. I'll try.
I'll try. Okay, very good. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, I want you to know that I have made Romans 1:14-16 to be the life goal that I want to be there.
Jadi saya menjadikan Roma 1, 14 sampai 16 ini menjadi goal kehidupan saya tentang penginjilan.
I can't say I'm obligated to all.
Saya masih belum bisa mengatakan saya punya kewajiban terhadap semuanya.
Sometimes when you are on the plane, you know, there's some people who are on the plane, they do evangelism all the time. When me on the plane, I want to watch movie.
Ya, kan ada kalau orang di pesawat gitu ya, menginjili. Kalau Pastor Tim nonton film.
I can't say I'm eager, though I think I'm rather passionate to preach the gospel.
Ya, kalau di Pastor Tim juga mengatakan saya masih belum bisa mengatakan saya ingin sekali, tapi ada passionnya.
You know, I think when we derive at that state, obligated, not ashamed, so eager, that is really where we will see engaged change in this church.
Jadi kalau sampai kita bisa melihat ini terjadi, kita merasa berkewajiban, kita merasa sangat tertantang untuk melakukan penginjilan itu, maka engage di dalam gereja ini akan berubah.
Okay, so for the next, maybe we are supposed to start at what time? 5 or?
5:30?
Okay. For the next 2 hours or more, depending on you got a lot of questions or not, I will share with you with the story of myself, okay? How I struggle in this area and how I had the biggest breakthrough for the past 4 years when it comes to evangelism.
Jadi saya akan menceritakan dalam 2,5 jam ke depan ini bagaimana saya berproses dari dulu selama 4 tahun ini mengubah kehidupan pribadi saya untuk menjadi bergairah tentang penginjilan.
And I'll share a little bit about how it's changing the life of the church as well.
Dan bagaimana itu juga mengubah kehidupan gereja.
And I will share with you the principle I've learned, which I think it's where Engage 2.0 takes place.
Dan saya akan membagikan tentang prinsip-prinsip di mana saya rasa Engage 2.0 ini terjadi.
Okay, so first of all I had a holy dissatisfaction.
Yang pertama ya, yang terjadi dalam hidup saya adalah rasa ketidakpuasan yang kudus.
You know, I always tell myself, I used to do sales and I always tell myself, if your product is good, it sells by itself.
Ya, dulu saya melakukan pekerjaan sales, dikatakan kalau produknya bagus itu pasti terjual.
I'm not trying to say Jesus is a product, but if I can think that way, how many of you would agree Jesus is the best?
Ya, saya tidak mengatakan Yesus itu produk, tapi siapa yang mengerti kalau Yesus itu kalau produk pasti yang terbaik? Siapa yang percaya itu? Ya.
He died for my sin. I don't even do anything. You know, all that. So Jesus is really the best. So, but why is he not selling enough?
Ya.
Okay.
Jadi kalau dia kayak produk itu begitu luar biasa baiknya, kenapa kok nggak selling, kok nggak jalan gitu ya?
Nothing wrong with the product.
Jadi produknya nggak ada yang salah.
Maybe we didn't know how to promote it.
Atau mungkin cara kita promosinya nggak benar.
Maybe we don't know how to tell it.
Mungkin kita cara ngomongnya, cara memberitakannya nggak cocok.
Maybe we did not represent the product well.
Atau kita ini bukan representasi terhadap produk itu yang baik.
So there's always a holy dissatisfaction within me.
Jadi ada satu ketidakpuasan yang kudus di dalam saya.
You know how in life sometimes a misrepresentation of product, you never want it.
Jadi di dalam hidup ini kalau saudara dijualin, yang jual itu salah merepresentasikan produknya, saudara tidak beli.
Maybe we keep on telling people you're a sinner, you're a sinner. Maybe that's not the way they want to be introduced to who God is.
Mungkin saudara selalu katakan, oh ya kamu berdosa. Dan mungkin Tuhan tidak mau diperkenalkan cara seperti itu.
At some point, everybody needs to know that you're a sinner, but maybe that's not the best entry point.
Di dalam satu poin dalam penginjilan, dia harus mengerti dia orang berdosa. Tapi mungkin itu bukan entry point-nya, cara masuknya gitu.
And when they see the amount of scandals that happens among Christians, then people will see that, why would I want to follow your God? This is, I don't want.
Ya, apalagi kalau mereka mendengar cerita-cerita skandal tentang orang Kristen, tentang gereja, mereka akan katakan, "Duh, enggak mau ngikut kalian deh."
You know, I have been one of the last person to use a smartphone.
Saya adalah orang yang mungkin yang terakhir yang pakai smartphone.
Yes. Before smartphone, I use Nokia.
Ya, sebelum ada smartphone, saya ini pakai Nokia.
People like DJ, no way they know Nokia. What is
Oke, ya. DJ nggak tahu Nokia itu makanan jenis apa.
that? Yeah. So those of you who know Nokia, Nokia was the best because you can text and drive.
Ya. Jadi yang tahu Nokia, Nokia ini bisa dipakai untuk texting sambil nyetir.
Because ABC, one button. DEF, one button. So you just have to text according and you can drive and then you can.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I stuck to Nokia.
Ya, masih ingat ya, yang ABC itu satu gitu ya, cuma berapa kali gitu ya.
Yeah, yeah.
Banyak yang nggak ngerti nih ya, teka-teki ya.
Okay. So
Ya,
anyway,
tahu ya. Ya.
when smartphone was introduced, everybody is having smartphone. And they tell me smartphone is very good because you can take picture.
Ya, jadi waktu ada smartphone ya, terus kemudian orang memperkenalkan ke Pastor Tim ini, bagus loh smartphone karena bisa ngambil foto.
I thought to myself, I don't need photo.
Ya, saya nggak perlu foto.
So all the feature of smartphone, it never registered to me.
Jadi semua hal yang lain itu nggak ada yang nyantol.
Until one day, I was in a church camp, and it was actually one of our member of parliament today, Yo Bing, she's very popular now. So she took out her phone, she connected to the computer, and she used it like a modem or a router to send email.
Jadi satu kali di camp gereja ada seorang wanita anggota DPR di gereja kami yang pakai smartphone-nya itu sebagai modem ngirim email dari laptopnya gitu.
When I saw that, I said, wow, I said you can send email via your computer through your handphone just like a modem. She then looked at me and says, Pastor, that's why it's called smartphone.
Jadi setelah saya melihat itu dan mengatakan, oh ternyata bisa ngirim email lewat laptop pakai smartphone. Terus dia jawab, makanya disebut smartphone bukan dumb phone. Gitu.
And it's the way she looked at me that makes me feel like I come from, you know, kampong or another planet, you know, that kind of say. Then I said, oh, that's what smartphone can do.
Kemudian saya seperti orang dari desa mana mengatakan, oh ternyata smartphone itu smart. Gitu.
Excuse me. Immediately the next day I go and buy a smartphone.
Besoknya saya beli smartphone.
You know, my point is this. I have this holy dissatisfaction because the goodness of who God is, how come people don't get it?
Ya, saya punya ketidakpuasan yang kudus itu karena saya melihat gini. Kenapa ya kalau Tuhan itu begitu baik, kenapa tuh orang itu nggak bisa nangkep sih kebaikan Tuhan?
Second thing that drives me was the need to preach the gospel to the next generation.
Yang kedua adalah kebutuhan untuk menjembatani Injil pada generasi berikut.
Because churches are getting old.
Karena orang-orang yang di gereja ini tambah lama tambah tua.
Obviously you come to our church right now, we have a fair bit of young people, but for me it's never enough. The more the merrier.
Ya, kalau saudara datang ke gereja kami banyak anak-anak muda, tetapi buat saya itu nggak pernah cukup karena semakin banyak anak muda semakin baik.
Number 3, the more busy I am, the more no non-Christian friend I have.
Dan yang ketiga, semakin saya sibuk, semakin tidak banyak waktu untuk orang-orang yang belum kenal Tuhan dalam hidup saya.
So I don't know who to share the gospel with.
Jadi sekarang tambah lama siapa ya saya bagikan Injil sama siapa?
I share to my wife share to me.
Jadi saya bagikan pada istri bagikan pada saya.
I share to my pastor share with me, okay?
Ya, saya bagikan pada pastor bagikan pada saya.
The fourth one is the need to relearn and rewalk the step of discipleship.
Yang keempat adalah kebutuhan untuk mempelajari kembali langkah-langkah pemuridan.
By the way, I test myself all the time. I'm not positive, okay? I'm just traveling too much. Australia, Malaysia, Turkey, Malaysia, Bangkok, Malaysia, now Indonesia, all back to back. So the changes of climax, I caught kind of a flu, okay? Anyway, so
So intinya jangan takut, hasil tesnya negatif.
Yes.
Oke.
So what I did was, so when I decided to make the changes in my life, the church is about 400 to 500.
Pada waktu saya mengubah pola ini dalam hidup saya, size gereja sekitar 400-500 jemaat.
That was in 2017.
Itu 2017.
Today we are about anywhere 1,006, 1,008 or even more.
Ya mungkin sekarang 1.600, 1.800 bahkan lebih.
So we have grown a fair bit.
Jadi kita sudah berlipat ya.
2017, I decided to go back to ground zero.
2017 saya memutuskan untuk kembali ke titik nol.
When your church is about 400, 500, normally as a pastor, you don't contact guests that visit, you get a leader to do it.
Oke, kalau size 400-500 biasanya gembala tidak langsung mengontak orang yang baru, tetapi pemimpin yang lakukan.
Semua outsource,
Ya,
right? You don't lead a life group. You got other life group leaders, right? So I decided to go back ground zero. I contact every guest that visit the church.
jadi saya mulai dengan mengontak setiap orang yang baru yang datang ke gereja.
I put a lot of emphasis on people who do not know God.
Dan saya memastikan menaruh titik berat kepada orang yang belum kenal Tuhan.
I started to make as many young people, friends, my kids, college consultant that guide them, I became their friend.
Jadi saya mulai juga membangun persahabatan dengan anak-anak muda, bahkan konselor yang ada di universitas untuk anak saya, bahkan jadi teman saya.
Any young people, badminton, anybody that meets young, I exchange number. As long as they are willing to give their number to me.
Ya, jadi yang muda-muda itu selama mau tukeran nomor, kita tukeran nomor.
So 2017,
2017,
I started what I call a Discovering God with a group of about, this is not all of them, but with a group of about 15 young people, except, how do I do the light?
Oh, cannot do.
Cannot do the light one.
Okay. Yeah, it's not
Okay,
canggih enough.
no
bro.
light. Okay, so the lady on the right hand side, obviously she's not very young.
Ya, yang
Okay.
ibu yang di kanan ini nggak muda.
The daughter is the one that I knew that brought the mother.
Tapi yang saya tahu itu adalah anaknya bawa mamanya.
Yes, okay. So 2017, I do what I call Discovering God. Now, what is Discovering God?
Jadi saya memimpin grup yang namanya Discovery God atau penemuan tentang Tuhan. Apa itu?
Discovering God is really, I need about 30 minutes to explain how I do it. Maybe with only leaders who are interested to learn how to do it.
Saya bisa menerangkan ini mungkin 30 menit kepada para pemimpin yang sungguh-sungguh pengen belajar.
It's quickest way, is the paradigm shift to help people. The best way to know God is to relate to God, not how much research and reasoning to do with God.
Ya, jadi cara untuk mengenal Tuhan itu yang terbaik adalah berhubungan dengan Tuhan dan bukan semakin banyak kita research tentang Tuhan.
The best way for me to know Pastor Benny is not to stalk his Instagram, Facebook, you know what I'm saying, and to guess who he is, but to sit down and have Korean food with him like just now. Got to know him.
Ya, jadi kalau mau mengenal saya, nggak kemudian lihat di Instagram saya karena saya nggak punya Facebook. Nah itu saya punya, saudara, atau yang lain-lainnya. Tapi lebih baik ngobrol gitu, lebih tahu.
Correct? Because God is relational being. He is a relational being. My wife is a relational being.
Karena Tuhan itu adalah pribadi yang relasional, juga istri saya dan yang lain-lainnya.
Okay, so anyway, I did this Discovering God. About 14, 15 of them came. At the end of the day, we have about 13 of them. So this is not the representation of all, but this is those who said yes to God for the first time.
Ya, jadi ini bukan yang akhirnya terima Tuhan Yesus yang di lingkari ini, tapi paling tidak ini yang pertama-tama terima Tuhan Yesus yang di lingkari.
In fact, I went to Australia. When I went to Australia, the first person in Melbourne that hosted me for a week was the girl in the middle where, anyway, it was one of the girl, long hair girl. She was the first guest that I text in 2017.
Jadi pada waktu saya ke Australia barusan ini, yang host saya di Australia adalah ibu yang rambutnya panjang, baju merah ini, yang adalah orang yang pertama kali saya teks pada tahun 2017.
2017, the first person I text, she visited our church, know nothing about God, brought the boyfriend, she accepted Christ, the boyfriend recommitted his life. 1 year later, I married them both. When I went to Australia, when they found out I want to go to Australia, they are the first one that say, Pastor, please come and stay with us. And they hosted us so well.
Ya, jadi tahun 2017 itu dia datang ke gereja nggak tahu tentang Tuhan, bawa pacarnya, dia akhirnya terima Tuhan, pacarnya kemudian juga rededicate hidupnya, diberkati, pindah ke Australia dan kemudian jadi host yang luar biasa pada waktu Pastor Tim ada di Australia.
So 2017 Christmas was that picture. This is 2018 Chinese New Year.
Jadi kalau yang tadi 2017, ini 2018 Chinese New Year.
This number of people got saved.
Ini adalah orang-orang yang bertobat.
Out of this number of people, all the blue one is a leader in our church.
Jadi dari semuanya ini yang biru menjadi pemimpin sekarang di gereja kami.
Okay. So basically, so this is my first 2 seasons discovering God. So they invite their friends. So what happened was, these 2 groups of people then come to me because I don't lead life group, right? Senior pastor, I get others to lead. So they came to me, they said, Pastor, we don't know anybody. Can you start a life group?
Ya, jadi seperti biasanya kan senior pastornya enggak mimpin life group, kemudian mereka datang kepada saya dan mengatakan, Pastor, terus kemudian saya ngikut life group yang mana gitu.
So I said, okay, let's start a life group. Then I told them, the goal of this life group is at the end of the year, we no longer exist.
Ya, jadi goal daripada life group ini, akhir tahun kita tidak lagi ada.
And they said, Pastor, what do you mean?
Terus dia katakan, terus maksudnya apa sih?
I said, we exist as a leaders group.
Ya, jadi akhir tahun kita bukan life group tapi leaders group.
You lead a group, you lead a group, you lead a group. So they were all, okay, Pastor, on.
Ya, jadi mereka katakan oke, ya.
You know, today we have the group became 4 group, became 6 group. It just keep on multiplying. So when I started the first live group, they also invited their friends.
Jadi pada waktu saya mulai live group yang pertama, mereka ini juga invite, mereka juga undang teman-temannya.
So the live group, we always have dinner.
Dan selalu ada makannya.
And after dinner, then take smoking break.
Setelah makan malam, terus kemudian ada break untuk ngerokok.
Because 4 of the guys will go outside, they'll all be smoking.
Jadi ada 4 yang laki itu ngerokok dulu, saudara.
I also join them without the smoke.
Ya,
okay?
Jadi Pastor Tim,
Right?
ya.
I also join them. And then after that, we come back in and then we do our live group.
Dan kemudian baru masuk lagi live group mulai.
6 months down the road.
6 bulan kemudian.
All of them said, Pastor, let's go for Victory Weekend. Let's quit smoking.
Oke, 6 bulan kemudian Victory Weekend berhenti ngerokok.
And you know what? 6 months later, all stop smoking.
Ya, dalam waktu 6 bulan semua berhenti ngerokok, berikan kemuliaan untuk Tuhan.
My point is this, so this is what I learned.
Ini yang saya belajar.
I realized the journey that I took. And so ever since I've done that, discovering God has led 200 over people to Christ for the first time. I'm not talking about people who backslidden, just first time. People who only know, oh my God. Now they know who God is.
Oke. Jadi untuk pertama kali Discovery God ini ada 200 lebih orang yang bertobat. Bukan yang rededikasi, kan banyak yang rededikasi ya. Bukan, yang sungguh-sungguh dari yang cuman taunya oh my God. Ya, kan banyak yang begitu toh, yang sungguh-sungguh akhirnya tahu Tuhan itu siapa.
Yeah. So even during pandemic 2020, I've led 100 people to Christ just by doing discovering God.
Bahkan selama pandemik saya membawa lebih dari 100 orang untuk menerima Tuhan lewat Discovery God ini.
So when I begin to reflect back, I realized that these are few things that I really learned.
Dan ini yang saya belajar beberapa hal kalau saya merefleksikan kembali.
Okay. And potentially you have heard me before talk about include, invest, invite, but it takes a different dimension as I learn it.
Mungkin saudara pernah dengar saya mengajarkan tentang include, invest, invite. Tapi saya mau membawa saudara kepada dimensi yang lebih lagi.
Okay. So I realized this. We don't have to do many things, but the few things that we do, we must do it very well.
Kita mungkin nggak bisa melakukan banyak hal, tetapi beberapa hal yang kita lakukan, kita perlu lakukan dengan sungguh-sungguh baik.
You know how some of you, your family, right? You sometimes you invite people
Ya,
to your house.
Ya, yang family life group kan ngundang mungkin orang datang ke rumah kita.
And then sometimes those people who invite people to their house, they want to bring out the most expensive China, the plate from China.
Ya. Terus
Oke.
kemudian saudara mungkin mau menjamu mereka pakai porselin yang paling mahal yang saudara punya.
Yes. You try to give your best.
Oh, mau lakukan yang terbaik.
But you know, those kind of things you can do it once a year, you don't do it more than that.
Ya, itu setahun sekali boleh, enggak lebih dari itu.
When I say include, invest, invite, you want to do it on a consistent basis, but it is not about the things that you have, it is about the heart and the love that you want to give to the people.
Jadi kalau kita mau include, invest, invite, ini kita harus lakukan konsisten. Bukan dengan barang yang terbaik, tapi hati yang terbaik.
So the first one, I call it the simplicity of relationship.
Yang pertama saya katakan adalah kesederhanaan hubungan.
I realized that out of the so many people that I helped them to say yes to God, there was one time I did a survey, at least with the first 3 batches of Discovering God, which is about 40, 50 of them. And all of them said this to me. They said, Pastor, because you left a mark in my life when we relate to you.
Jadi saya melakukan survei sederhana terhadap 3 batch yang pertama Discovery God. Bagaimana orang itu yang akhirnya memutuskan untuk terima Yesus. Dan mereka semua rata-rata mengatakan karena ada sesuatu yang engkau tanamkan yang membekas dalam setiap hati kami.
When it comes to relationship, the $1 million question you got to ask yourself is this: how can I be more personal?
Yang harus kita tanyakan kalau kita mau melakukan ini adalah apa yang bisa membuat saya menjadi lebih personal.
Was this personal? That's the question you want to ask.
Apakah ini cukup personal?
Okay, let me give you an example, okay? If I were to forward a YouTube to DJ, a YouTube, right? I could have just said, DJ, this is a nice song, or this is a nice service, watch it. That's why I forward to DJ.
Ya. Mungkin kalau mau forward YouTube ke DJ, bisa dikatakan gini, DJ nonton dong ini kebaktian bagus.
Okay, that's good enough, that's very good, right?
Itu bagus.
But to be personal, maybe you don't just forward to DJ, you say, DJ, at 36 minutes 40 seconds, this story reminds me about where you are in your journey of life. That is personal.
Jadi kalau forwardnya begini, di menit 36, 40 itu ada satu cerita yang saya rasa sangat berkenaan dengan kehidupanmu saat ini. Ditonton ya.
So, it all begins with the way and the capacity you are going to relate with the people that you are going to reach out.
Jadi ini tentang bagaimana kita itu membangun hubungan dengan orang-orang yang kita
You see,
jangkau.
most of us are trained to think, if I can get the person to come to church, that's my goal.
Banyak di antara kita berpikir gini, kalau aja saya bisa ngundang dia sampai ikut kebaktian di gereja, wah itu goal saya nih.
One of my pastor, again to help you to see the concept, one of my pastors, okay, so he had a guest that visited our church. Let's say, I don't want to use DJ. Let's say, your second daughter's name is
Kathy.
Kathy. Okay, Kathy, let me borrow your name, okay? So let's say Kathy came to church, and then let's say follow up, say, hey, Kathy, how was service? You know, Kathy said, very good, okay, good. Well, hope to see you again next week. Is that a common response that you would do?
Ya. Ya,
Okay,
jadi
right?
ini yang normal ya kalau ada visitor, halo Kathy gimana, ikut kebaktian diberkati enggak? Oh ya, bagus ya. Oke, kalau gitu minggu depan datang lagi ya. Kira-kira itu yang biasanya ya.
Right, okay, now, so some of us go the extra mile. Maybe by Friday, we will text Kathy and say, Kathy, will I see you on Sunday?
Nah, kita lakukan extra mile nih. Hari Jumatnya mungkin kita teks Kathy, Kathy minggu ketemuan ya di gereja lagi.
Okay, how many of you would do that?
Berapa di antara saudara bisa lakukan itu?
Okay, that's like a good, faithful Christian follow-up. Very good, right? Very
Ya,
good.
itu bagus sudah ya. Kita follow up.
So Kathy will reply, say, oh, so sorry, this weekend, I am going back to my hometown. I cannot make it.
Ya, terus Kathy jawabnya gini, aduh sorry minggu ini enggak bisa pulang kampung gitu.
Okay? How many will say, oh, no problem, enjoy your hometown. Well, maybe I'll see you the week after.
Dan berapa di antara saudara akan membalas gini, oh ya selamat pulang kampung, enjoy ya, tapi minggu depannya lagi kita ketemuan ya. Gitu.
How many of you would do that?
Siapa di antara saudara yang akan lakukan itu?
Okay, how many of you would do it differently?
Berapa di antara saudara yang akan melakukan beda?
How would you do it? I'm
Ya,
interested.
Bu
How
Owen
would you do it?
gimana caranya?
Ah,
Oke.
okay, very good, okay? Now, so my pastor responded like the first one I told you, right? So when he showed me the text, he said, how would you do it different? I said, I won't do it that way.
Oke, jadi pastor saya ini persis lakukan seperti apa yang tadi saya katakan kita akan lakukan. Pastor Tim mengatakan pada pastornya ini, oh kalau saya akan lakukan berbeda.
So I told him, my thinking is not about getting her to come to church. My thinking is, where is your hometown?
Pemikiran saya bukan kapan kamu bisa datang ke gereja, tapi kamu kampungmu di mana?
My response will be, what is your favorite food when you go back hometown?
Saya akan ngomong gini, kamu nanti kalau pulang kampung pengen makan apa di sana?
I would want to discover as much about the person, and it's not about getting the person to come.
Jadi saya akan tanya lebih dalam tentang orang itu daripada kapan dia bisa datang ke gereja.
So the first changes in me was to learn and relearn again and again to be the best in building relationship.
Jadi saya ini harus belajar dan belajar kembali bagaimana untuk membangun hubungan yang baik.
You know, I really like John chapter 1, 14 to 16.
Saya suka sekali Yohanes 1, 14 sampai 16.
Okay? I want you to read this and then we'll take a break, okay? The Bible says the word,
Oops.
oh, okay, yes. The Bible says the word became flesh, make his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one who came from the Father, full of grace, full of truth. And then he says, John testified. That means John talked about it. So John saw, John talked, and then this is the one I spoke about when I say, he who comes after me has surpassed me because he was before me. Out of his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace already given. Okay, so
Oke, dikatakan firman itulah menjadi manusia diam di antara kita dan kita telah melihat kemuliaannya yaitu kemuliaan yang diberikannya sebagai anak tunggal Bapa penuh kasih karunia dan kebenaran. Dikatakan Yohanes memberi kesaksian tentang dia. Ya, dan berseru kepadanya, inilah dia yang kumaksudkan ketika aku berkata, kemudian daripada itu akan datang dia yang telah mendahului aku, sebab dia telah ada sebelum aku. Karena dari kepenuhannya kita semua telah menerima kasih karunia demi kasih karunia.
you know, every friend that we make will have three things to tell.
Ada 3 hal yang setiap orang yang kita berteman itu mau beritahu kita.
What they saw,
Apa yang dia lihat,
what they talk about,
apa yang dia bicarakan,
what did they receive.
apa yang dia terima.
John said this about Jesus. He says why Jesus was so incredibly credible.
Dan ini yang dikatakan Yohanes tentang Yesus. Bagaimana Tuhan Yesus itu luar biasa kredibelnya.
Because he said he dwelt among us.
Yang pertama dia tinggal di antara kita.
He understood everything. And then he says, because he dwelt among us, I saw, I testify, and I receive grace upon grace.
Yang pertama Yohanes katakan, aku melihat. Yang kedua aku beritakan. Yang ketiga aku terima.
You know, I think the gospel cannot go beyond that 3 statement.
Saya rasa Injil itu nggak bisa lebih daripada 3 pernyataan itu.
If what they saw was your integrity not there, what they perceive, what they testify was not your genuineness, and what they receive from you, they will never say yes to the gospel.
Kalau yang dia lihat adalah kita ini integritasnya meragukan, maka after this,
Yeah, they saw,
ya,
they perceive, or
dan
they testify. Yeah.
maka kesaksian mereka tentang kita ini adalah sesuatu kesaksian yang tidak baik. Bagaimana mungkin dia menerima apa yang kita beritakan kepada dia?
So all the friends that you want to share the gospel with, you want to know what they saw, what they say of you, and what do they receive from you.
Jadi semua orang yang kita berteman, saudara mau pastikan apa yang dia lihat tentang saudara, bagaimana persepsi mereka tentang saudara, sehingga apa yang mereka bisa terima dari saudara.
I think one of the most painful reality was a conversation I had with this is a conversation I had between a husband and a wife.
Dan saya akan cerita satu realitas yang sangat menyakitkan pada waktu saya mendengar percakapan antara seorang suami istri.
The wife is a Christian, the husband is not.
Yang perempuan, yang istrinya ini Kristen, yang suaminya belum.
So for years, the wife said, Pastor, share with my husband, tell him the gospel.
Ya, yang istrinya ngomong, Pastor ini kasih tahu suami saya, nang bertobat ini, kasih tahu Injil.
When I have a relationship with the husband, I ask him, what is stopping you from saying yes to God?
Setelah saya membangun hubungan dengan suaminya, saya tanya, apa yang membuat engkau tidak akhirnya buat keputusan untuk terima Tuhan?
She said, it's my wife.
Oh ini istri saya.
She said, I struggle with her.
Saya ini punya masalah dengan dia.
Her controlling, her anger, whatever. So then eventually I went to the wife.
Ya jadi dia katakan istrinya ini controlling, penuh dengan amarah, dan saya datang kepada istrinya.
I said, I need to let you know this.
Ya saya perlu kasih tahu Anda hal ini.
When I asked your husband, what is stopping you? He said, it's you.
Saya katakan apa yang membuat dia tidak terima Tuhan Yesus, dia katakan kamu.
It's not a message.
Bukan berita Injilnya.
Now, I'm not saying that because he said that she's all the wrong, all right? But my point is, everyone that we relate, what do they see, what do they perceive, and what do they receive from us is very important. Thus, building relationship is very key.
Ya, jadi saya juga tidak mengatakan bahwa alasan satu-satunya yang suaminya nggak terima Tuhan Yesus ini hanya karena kesalahan istrinya, tapi poinnya apa yang dia lihat, apa yang dia perceive, apa yang dia simpulkan tentang kehidupan kita itu menentukan apa yang dia mau terima dari kehidupan kita lewat.
I make few last statement and then we'll take a break, okay? So I work very hard as a pastor
Saya ini pekerja keras
to minimize event in our church.
untuk meminimalkan event-event dalam gereja.
See, you have no bandwidth to relate to other people if Monday Bible study, Tuesday prayer meeting, Wednesday men's fellowship, Thursday women's fellowship, Friday worship practice, Saturday intercessory meeting, Sunday, you will never have time to build any genuine relationship if all your time is in church.
Kalau seluruh waktu saudara mulai Senin sampai Minggu hanya di gereja dengan semua kegiatan yang tadi itu, kapan bangun hubungannya dengan orang yang terhilang?
I work very hard to be minimalist when it comes to church event.
Saya sangat memastikan untuk tidak terlalu banyak event di dalam gereja.
During pandemic, no event.
Selama pandemik tidak ada event.
Those churches who are big in event, they lost because no event, how to invite people?
Ya. Gereja-gereja yang sangat kuat dalam event, mereka tidak punya event, pandemik mau ngapain gitu.
During pandemic, those who thrive in relationship, they will grow.
Selama pandemi yang bertumbuh di dalam hubungan itu adalah gereja-gereja yang akhirnya bertumbuh.
You know, it's very simple, but be very good at relating. So the Bible has
Ya, jadi sangat sederhana tetapi jadilah sungguh-sungguh ahli dalam bangun hubungan, kira-kira gitu.
the Bible have 59 one another in the New Testament, one another.
Di dalam perjanjian baru ada 59 kali ayat yang mengatakan satu kepada yang lain.
Yeah, actually it's hundreds of them, but 59 different ones.
Ya, ada 59 yang berbeda-beda tetapi sebetulnya ayatnya lebih dari 100.
Love one another, honor one another, serve one another, give preference to one another. So many, okay?
Ya.
You know, God has meant for us to be the leader when it comes to relationship.
Tuhan mau kita menjadi pemimpin dalam konteks membangun hubungan.
The first to accept.
Yang pertama, terima dulu.
The first to forgive.
Yang menjadi pertama untuk mengampuni.
The first to say sorry.
Yang menjadi pertama untuk mengatakan maaf, sorry.
The first to be humble.
Yang pertama untuk rendah hati.
The first to serve.
Yang pertama untuk melayani.
So we need to relearn how to build powerful relationship with people who do not know God.
Kita perlu untuk belajar kembali untuk membangun satu hubungan yang powerful dengan orang-orang yang belum kenal Tuhan.
So the first lesson that I learned is I need to relearn relating to people.
Jadi satu pelajaran yang saya belajar adalah saya perlu belajar ulang untuk membangun hubungan dengan orang-orang.
Okay, we'll take about 10 minutes break, whatever, toilet, wash your face, coffee, okay, jump around, jumping jack, whatever, okay. I want you to come back and have question about this part first in building relationship with our church in a fresh way.
Oke, jadi ada break 10 menit, tolong di countdown aja supaya semuanya lihat, boleh ngapa-ngapain ya, silakan. Nanti kita kembali siap dengan pertanyaan yang berkenaan dengan membangun hubungan dengan orang yang belum kenal Tuhan. Oke? Ya, silakan. Jelas ya, ini belum selesai loh. Belum doa penutup, nggak boleh pulang. Oke, yuk.
Okay, those who are free can do the survey, up to you.
Ya, kemudian saudara yang tadi bisa mulai lakukan survei singkat. Ya, silakan saudara.
Get it simple. I'll give more handles. How to engage. Very good. Very good. Like it very much. Yep, I will sort it out. Not even my wire. My wire? At least if I needed a power bank, I can borrow. Okay, you better go and I'll see you later. And I'll come back here by 5. Okay? Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, no sugar, yes. Okay. Oh. Is that for Pastor Danny, the tea? The tea for Pastor Danny? No. Office. Okay, okay. I'm not a tea guy. You're not a tea guy? Really? Drink coffee. Tea brews, right? Tea brews. Okay, can. I'll drink both. I'm faithful to drink. I'm Timothy. Oh yeah, that's a nice tea.
Tes. Oke, teman-teman bisa tolong kembali supaya kita nggak terlalu lama juga ya. Mungkin bisa yang di belakang supaya nggak di belakang sekali bisa ke depan aja. Yang dari sisi yang lain, kalau sini penuh, yang kiri kanan tadi itu bisa ke depan aja. Tolong ya, yang masih di luar bisa tolong diberitahu supaya kita bisa segera mulai.
Okay. All right. While everybody's making their way in, question.
Oke, kita mulai dengan pertanyaan dulu
Oke.
ya.
All right. So while waiting, if you have question, you can lift up your hand. Maybe.
Oke,
yes, go ahead.
ada
Yes.
pertanyaan. Bisa tolong kasih mic? Yaudah, tolong. Yes.
Yes.
Come on, mic.
It's very good.
Okay, Pastor Tim, my name is Stephanie. I'm one of campus missionary.
Oh, nice.
Jadi saya punya pertanyaan. Jadi saya melihat bahwa dalam kita membangun hubungan dan kapan pada saat kita ingin tell the gospel, kita mau share the gospel, ada titik di mana orang-orang yang kita layani itu merasa bahwa you're not too close to me or kamu belum terlalu dekat denganku untuk kamu bisa sampaikan Injil atau untuk kamu bisa mengoreksi atau memberitahukan kebenaran.
Okay.
Nah, how do we respond that? And
Wait, they tell you that we are not close enough.
yes.
Therefore, you don't share the gospel yet.
Jadi kadang saya merasa bahwa how we perceive the closeness between us itu different. Buat mereka itu belum terlalu dekat. Buat saya, I think aku sudah berusaha try my best to get close, but akhirnya, nah how we supaya tidak terjadi seperti itu. Thank you.
Okay, that is very good question. Okay, later when I continue to share, it's about engaging the gospel. Okay, potentially some of the answers come from there, but just to answer your question, okay, how should I say this? I think as you relate to someone, you want to relate to know, to find, looking for clues, how can the gospel enter into a person's life?
Ya, jadi pada waktu kita membangun, tadi pertanyaannya kan Stefani, persepsinya beda. Menurut Stefani harusnya udah dekat. Menurut dia, loh kamu belum dekat kok sudah masuk dengan Injil gitu ya. Jadi tadi jawabannya Pastor Tim itu kalau waktu kita membangun hubungan pastikan kita menemukan tempat atau satu titik dalam hidupnya di mana kita melihat bahwa Injil bisa masuk ke sana.
Okay. So I think like a detective, Sherlock Holmes.
Ya, jadi kayak Sherlock Holmes.
Every relationship I build, I look for entry point for the gospel.
Setiap hubungan yang saya bangun, saya selalu mencari di mana Injil bisa masuk.
The four the what do you call that? If you were trained in the old school, the four what do you call that? Navigators one, the four spiritual law or the campus crusade, right?
Yeah.
All that. The only entry point is you're a sinner, you need a savior.
Ya, jadi kalau kita training dulu ada training yang cukup populer dari navigator, itu pokoknya entry point-nya kamu orang berdosa, kamu memerlukan juru selamat dan kami menawarkan juru selamat. Kira-kira gitu.
They may think that you are worse a sinner than me.
Dan mereka melihatnya gini, kamu kira aku orang berdosa, kamu kelihatannya lebih berdosa dari aku.
You didn't vote, you were in Surabaya.
Nah ini kalau sama Pastor Tim dia bilang gini, wow ini kurang nasionalis ini. Ya, orang Malaysia pemilihan umum malah ngajar di Surabaya.
That's true. So my point is, we can no longer go from only one thinking, you're a sinner, you need a savior.
Jadi kita ini nggak boleh hanya pemikirannya masuknya kamu ini orang berdosa, kamu perlu Injil.
Okay? So in my relating with people, I always look for clue. Now, the worst thing is we don't know how to look for clue.
Ya, jadi saya selalu mencari clue ya, di mana bisa masuk. Tapi yang paling buruk adalah kalau kita nggak menemukan clue-nya di mana.
So this is how we think, okay? If someone come and say, hey, during COVID, wow, my life is so difficult. I was depressed, my mom was depressed, and everybody was depressed in my home. Okay?
Yeah.
So actually that's a big clue.
Ya, jadi kalau dia katakan, wah selama COVID ini, waduh hidup ini susah ya, saya depresi, mama saya depresi. Nah sesungguhnya cerita itu ada clue-nya itu.
Yeah, but sometimes our response is, hey, yours is not bad radio, mine is even worse, Not only my house, my dog also depressed, my neighbor, my whole street also depressed. In fact, it was so depressed that we all need to go to the hospital, What about you, right? So we tend to, so sometimes people can tell us so many things, but we don't take it as clue. We just take it as conversation, like comparison, who is worse.
Ya, jadi kita nggak melihat itu sebagai clue, malah kita ngomong gini, kamu sih lumayan, kalau kita sampai anjing, sampai kucing di rumah, semua depresi. Gitu
Right?
ya.
Or sometimes when we don't have a story, we borrow another person's story. Hey, I met the other friend, I tell his is the worst of the worst, okay? So, I think to learn how to look for clue, you look for body language.
Oke, jadi kadang kita malah mengkomparkan, kita nggak punya cerita, kita mengatakan, tapi saya tahu teman saya itu lebih parah keadaannya dari kamu. Ya, tapi sesungguhnya untuk mendapatkan clue itu kita perhatikan body language-nya.
You look for repeated statement.
Apa yang dikatakan berulang-ulang.
So sometimes when they talk to you, say, hey, today you look a bit sad. Yeah, my mom not feeling well. And then somewhere along the journey, they tell you again, I better go back, I better go and see my mom. You look for body language where someone pause, think through deeper, repeated statement. Look for all that. Those are always clue. So that entry gospel point, very important.
Jadi yang sangat penting adalah titik masuk dari Injil itu. Apa yang mungkin dari body language-nya, apa yang dia katakan berulang-ulang. Kita tangkap itu sebagai itu loh yang bisa Injil masuk.
Which is why we need to relearn how to relate with people powerfully.
Itu sebabnya kita ini perlu belajar kembali untuk membangun hubungan dengan orang lain dengan powerful.
Sometimes becoming a Christian make us feel like we are better than them.
Kadang karena kita ini orang Kristen, kita merasa lebih baik dari mereka.
Right? So they come and tell, my son is depressed. Oh, if you become a Christian, right, nobody depressed. And look at my son. They are also well behaved.
Ya. Jadi dia cerita anaknya gitu depresi. Terus kita langsung katakan gini, kalau kamu jadi orang Kristen, tidak ada itu. Depresi hilang dalam nama Tuhan Yesus. Lihat anak-anak saya, tidak ada yang depresi. Anjing saya juga nggak depresi.
Yeah. My son is poor in math. Oh, you come to church, we pray, then he'll be very good in math. No
Wow.
problem. We have this superior complex that,
Ya.
and we no longer how to identify with people.
Ya, jadi kita merasa kalau dia bilang anaknya nggak bisa math, oh datang gereja kita doain, nanti mathnya jadi bagus. Sepertinya kita ini lebih baik dari mereka.
You know how sometimes all of us pastors can be, we always have an answer for everything.
Ya, kadang-kadang pendeta ini kan punya jawaban untuk segala sesuatu.
Yeah. So in reality, that's why authentic relationship means you learn how to relate and you share your struggle.
Jadi otentik, hubungan yang otentik itu yang apa adanya. Jadi saudara juga bisa cerita pergumulan saudara.
So if you relate to people, you only share the good side, you never share your struggle, it's never authentic enough.
Jadi kalau saudara membangun hubungan dengan seseorang, ceritanya selalu yang baik-baik aja, saudara ini tidak otentik. Karena saudara sepertinya nggak punya struggle.
My struggle as I watch Christian is sometimes we become superior, we think superior, okay? Number two, we have no time.
Oke, yang pertama masalahnya kita tadi dikatakan merasa lebih baik dari mereka. Yang kedua, kita nggak punya waktu untuk mereka.
Yes. So, which is why my biggest shift was I for sure give time to people who do not know God.
Jadi saya punya waktu, pasti punya waktu untuk mereka.
So every week I will meet 1 to 2 people who do not know God, at least in the minimum, 1 to 2 at least.
Jadi di setiap minggu minimum saya bertemu 1-2 orang yang belum kenal Tuhan Yesus.
Let me share a story. I don't have this person's picture, but his name is Wilson. Okay, so Wilson came to know the Lord in 2019. 2019, he came to know God. Today, he's a life group leader. Okay, a very good life group leader. 2018, the wife by the name of Corinne came to know God. So Corinne get the husband to come to church. When he come to church, she's very guarded. Okay? No need to translate, right? You
Ya,
do.
bisa ngerti ya? Corinne dan Wilson pokoknya ya.
Yeah. Wilson tu suami, Corinne tu istri. Don't get mixed up. Okay? Anyway. So every time she says, Pastor, my husband. So I'll say hi to Wilson. And whenever like I want to say, hey, Wilson, free for tea, Wilson will always guarded the one. 2019, when I was in the United States, America, in a month of, what do you call that? I think August or something, he texts me. He says, Pastor, my wife advised me to call you because I needed a perspective in my workplace. Can I meet up with you? I told him I'm in United States, okay? But I said, I'm coming back 2 days from now. I arrive on Monday in the morning or in the afternoon, morning, afternoon. I said, Monday night, I can meet you. Immediately. So when I arrive on Monday, I'm full of meetings. So you remember, I come back at 9, I play badminton. So I'm full of meetings. So that night, I've got 4 to 5 meetings. I was in a coffee shop from 7 onwards, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and then I see him at 11:30. So I move from one table to another, tea, coffee, juice, water. I just moved from one table to another table, okay? So I was having meeting. At about 11:30, he came, almost midnight. By that time, jet lag kicks in. I was half awake, half asleep, so I'm really blurred. I'm trying to just stay awake. I sat in front of him, and he can see that I'm struggling to stay awake. So I told him, I'll do my best, okay? So he told me the problem, and I gave him an advice, which I forgot, because I'm half awake, half asleep. So I learned the best advice is jet lag advice, okay? Gave him the advice. He took my advice. We parted at almost 1 a.m. He went back home. 2 days later, he texts me because the next day he has to meet his boss. It's really a complication, in his office with his boss, okay? 2 days later, he texts me and says, Pastor, your advice for me works. Thank you so much for such a great advice. Okay, so I gave him 2 advice. One is what to do. One is include God. So I asked him to, remember the best way to know God is to relate to God. So I said, this is your best time to relate to God. So I asked him to invite God into his world and then do what I say. 2 days later, he texts me. He said, it works. On Sunday itself, when I went to church, he came to me. He says, Pastor, I'm ready to say yes to God. Wow. Today, Wilson and me, we have a very special friendship because he will forever remember 11:30, I was jet lagged, half awake, half asleep, but I make time for him. He will always tell me, Pastor, thank you so much for making time. Okay. In relating with people, it doesn't hurt and pain you, the relationship wasn't deep enough.
Wow.
It has to cost you something.
Oke, yang ini yang saya terjemahkan, ini penting ini ya. Jadi dalam membangun hubungan, yang tadi ngerti kan? Ngerti ya? Oke. Ya. Kalau hubungan itu dibangun tanpa ada pengorbanan rasa sakit, maka hubungan itu sebetulnya nggak dalam.
Yeah. So, and of the many people I led to Christ, I can tell you, some of them, they have a broken relationship. They were going to commit suicide. Me and my wife get them to come and stay with us at our house. And just to be with them. So for every one of them, there's a price. So you see, when Jesus came to die on the cross, it's a price he paid. He didn't stay in heaven and say, okay, do this, do that, call this, call that, you will get. No, he did not. He came and dwelt among. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, how does dwelling among looks like to you? Yeah. To your friend. Because in doing so, they will see, they will perceive, and they will receive differently. So the first thing I want you to know, it's not how good you are. Romans wrote, John 3:16. It's not how good your presentation.
Yeah.
It is how authentic is your relating.
Ya, jadi inti daripada apa yang tadi disampaikan adalah bukan seberapa fasih Injil itu disampaikan, tetapi berapa otentik hubungan yang kita bangun. Ya, dan setiap hubungan yang dibangun itu ada harganya. Karena Tuhan nggak hanya kasih 5 step dari surga, tapi dia turun ke bumi ini jadi dan berada bersama-sama dengan kita. Jadi yang sama itu, bersama-samanya kita dengan orang yang kita sedang bangun hubungan itu seberapa dalam.
Let me show you a picture. I don't have it in my PowerPoint, but I have it here. Let me just show it to you. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, so just give me a minute. I cannot find. Oh, okay. This is the picture. Okay. Okay, you cannot see it, but basically it's just it's a sketch. It's a picture of me and my wife. This was 2 years ago, our birthday.
Oke, ada sketch yang gambar dari Pastor Tim dan istrinya.
Yeah. So it says here, super pastor, super power, serving God. Okay. So anyway.
Misalnya super pastor.
Okay.
Super
so
power.
never make pastor a celebrity. Okay, that's the worst thing. Okay, never.
Okay.
She did not. Okay. So this person was actually depressed.
Orang ini depresi.
And she was about to commit suicide.
Dan dia mau bunuh diri. Ya.
I came to know her scenario because one of my leaders came to me and said, I don't know how to help her anymore.
Ya, salah satu pemimpinnya datang dan mengatakan saya nggak bisa nolong dia lagi
But
gimana.
this is not a story this is a Christian who is depressed, okay? But I want to bring out the principle. So when I knew that, I reached out to her, okay? Then I told her to meet me and my wife together. So every week, she come to our house for dinner. We cook her favorite food every week.
Jadi dia datang ke rumah kami, bertemu dengan istri dan saya, dan setiap kali dia datang, kita masakin dia makanan favoritnya.
So after the food, she and my wife will take a walk, and then I'll send her home together with my wife. So I'll do all the directing traffic. My wife is the one that journey with her. Okay?
Ya.
So that year birthday, she draw that picture to me. So I responded back. I said, you can draw. I said, who taught you how to draw? Okay. Then her response was, my father taught me how to draw. And then if you look at, there's a little phrase after that, she said this. She said, my father taught me how to draw, but you taught me how to love.
Wow. Ya, nggak perlu terjemahan ya? Ya udah ya.
So my point is this: we need to relearn how to love people unconditionally.
Ya. Jadi poinnya adalah kita ini harus belajar kembali untuk mengasihi orang lain tanpa syarat.
Yeah. So today, there's so many negative news about Christianity.
Begitu banyak hari ini masalahnya berita tentang kekristenan itu berita buruk.
To wear
Negatif.
mask or not to wear mask, to take vaccine or not to vaccine, split the whole Christian world.
Ya, bahkan kekristenan split gara-gara divaksin, tidak divaksin, pakai masker atau enggak, saudara pakai, saya tidak. Ya.
People think Christianity is democratic. In the US, people look at the whole Christian world. They say this is Donald Trump. Look at them, so horrible. I mean, the whole Christian view has been so many layers.
Jadi begitu banyak lapisan dari cara orang melihat kekristenan, lihat Donald Trump, apa itu yang namanya kekristenan dan lain sebagainya ya di Amerika.
The only way to win that back is really through loving unconditionally.
Dan untuk mengembalikan perspektif itu jadi benar, nggak ada yang lain. Tetapi untuk mengasihi tanpa kondisi, tanpa syarat.
So building relationship is so important.
Jadi membangun hubungan itu penting.
Okay, now let me very quickly, okay? Let me just go through because I want to go to give you some handles that's very, very helpful. Okay, now. So I talk about include, invest, invite. So let me talk a little bit about invest.
Ya, kita akan belajar sedikit tentang invest.
Okay, so these are some of the, okay, let me talk about invest, okay? The Bible tells us, for God has not given a spirit of fear, but of power, love, sound mind.
Ya, Tuhan tidak memberikan kepada kita roh ketakutan, tetapi roh yang membangkitkan kekuatan, kasih, dan ketertiban.
I tell people this, whenever you want to lead someone to Christ, you invest in 3 areas. First is, you invest in power, you pray.
Kalau kita mau invest dalam kehidupan orang, perhatikan 3 hal ini. Yang pertama, investasi dalam kuasa, yaitu didoakan.
You know, sometimes when we pray, I wish we see that all the time. But there are times when you pray and you see God at work powerfully. So this is a simple story. One of the person that got saved in discovering God, he's a chain smoker.
Ya, jadi kadang nggak semua doa itu langsung Tuhan jawab. Tapi ini ada cerita simple, ada seorang yang kalau ngerokok kayak kereta api gitu, nggak putus-putus, ya.
So he came for discovering God. He told me one of his desire is to quit smoking.
Jadi dia datang ikut Discovery God dan keinginannya adalah berhenti ngerokok.
So I told him, you pray to God, you tell God you want to quit smoking, then you trust God to lead you. Okay, so after about 2 weeks, he called me. He He says, Pastor, I must tell you this story. He says, I don't know, is it God or not? He says, the other day I take the cigarette, I smoke. Oh, they smell like poo.
Oh,
He
Oke.
says,
Jadi setelah 2 minggu, terus kemudian dia bilang, ini saya nggak tahu cerita ini Tuhan apa enggak ya? Saya ngerokok baunya kayak pup.
so he says, I thought this cigarette is old, so I take out a new packet. Also smell like poo.
Ya, berikutnya, ambil rokok yang baru, tapi sama,
Then he
baunya
said,
sama.
I got another brand new packet. I open up and I also smell like poo. So he says, Pastor, do you think this is God's way asking me to stop smoking?
Wah, ini kira-kira Tuhan bukan ya yang mengubah rasa nikotin itu jadi kayak pup.
That's how he became a Christian.
Itu akhirnya dia jadi orang Kristen.
You know, so prayer, you always do that. And you let God be the one that lead them in that journey.
Ya,
Okay?
ajar mereka untuk berdoa dan izinkan Tuhan yang akan memimpin mereka dalam perjalanan iman mereka.
Second thing is you invest love, right? We talk about that, love, unconditional. You keep on loving people.
Yang
Okay?
kedua kasih ya, tetap dikasihi tanpa kondisi tadi.
Third is sound mind. Sound mind, I call it the ability to engage soundly with someone.
Ya, jadi sound mind ini adalah pikiran yang jernih. Jadi pikiran yang bisa untuk membangun hubungan dengan mereka, gitu ya.
Let me ask you, how many of you came to know God because you encountered the power of God?
Berapa di antara saudara yang akhirnya terima Tuhan karena ada kuasa Tuhan bekerja dalam hidup? Saudara tadi kayak itu loh, yang smoking kayak gitu.
You were healed,
Ya atau
demon
disembuhkan,
possessed,
yang gitu.
depressed,
Angkat tangan
right?
yang
Power,
tinggi
right?
supaya tahu ya.
How many of you came to know God because someone loved you? It's the love. You saw something that really attracted you. Your parents, your good friend, right? I saw a couple of hands, right?
Ya.
How many of you came to know the Lord because someone shared the gospel and it makes sense?
Jadi yang ketiga, siapa yang terima Tuhan karena ada yang mempresentasikan Injil, ya masuk akal. Terus kemudian saudara yang bertobat.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yang lain belum bertobat.
Yeah, the rest of you, I don't know how they all come to know God.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Or now, most of us a combination of all three.
Ya mungkin ya yang lainnya anggaplah kombinasi ya.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
If you were to trace how people come to know God, you cannot run out from this tree. Did you know that?
Kalau saudara sungguh-sungguh perhatikan orang datang kepada Tuhan itu enggak ada yang di luar 3 ini.
You either encounter the supernatural of God, you were chased by demon.
Ya. Atau merasa ada kuasa supranatural tadinya dikejar-kejar sama iblis.
I tell you a funny story. This is one of my primary school friend. Okay, so now he's in our church. So he came to know God. This is a story. This is about about maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, like that. Okay, he called me one night, midnight, almost 11. He called me. He says, Pastor, priest, whatever, okay, exorcist, okay, whatever. He says, I was thinking who to call. I remember you are a pastor, you are a priest, okay. He said, my wife and my maid saw a ghost at the staircase.
Oke. Jadi ada teman SD yang 8 tahun yang lalu tengah malam telepon. Loh, saya ingat kamu ini kan pastor. Istriku sama pembantuku lihat ada setan di bawah tangga.
Yeah. He says, can you bring your holy water? He says, my wife and my maid are outside of the house. Nobody wants to go in. And he is in a corporate dinner. He says, could you help me? I meet you in my house because nobody wants to go into the house.
Oke, jadi dia rupanya ini lagi makan malam, kantor, terus kemudian istri sama pembantunya nggak berani masuk rumah. Jadi dia bilang, tolong boleh nggak ke rumah saya nanti juga pulang.
So I said, okay, I'll go now. So when I went there, the ghost wasn't there. I mean, I cannot take a selfie, wasn't there. Okay.
Ya, jadi nggak ada, mungkin sudah pulang.
Yeah, okay.
Ya, pulang dia.
Yeah. So
Nggak nunggu.
I prayed for the house, we dedicate the house. They were not Christian.
Ya.
So that night, the wife said, okay, I think I want to become a Christian, okay? Just protection. Actually, she doesn't want to become a Christian. She just wants protection, okay? So I prayed for her, the maid, all of them. But because he did not see the ghost, he doesn't want to become a Christian. He said, no. He said, okay, you want to become, you become. I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I let the wife and the maid say a sinner prayer, and I teach them, if you see whatever, you just say in Jesus' name, whatever. Okay, so the wife said, okay, thank you so much. After that, the ghost never appear.
Oke.
Okay, so the wife and the maid got saved because they saw a ghost. He did not. 2 weeks later, he was in another dinner. This is a high-end businessman, okay? Another dinner. He was drunk. At the toilet, he went to the toilet, he fell. His head hit the toilet bowl. Bam! But no blood. In the toilet, he called me. He said, the first thing he said, I'm alive. I said, yeah, I think you're alive. He said, yeah, I'm alive. He said, I'm alive. I said, yeah, okay, you're alive. He said, so I said, you saw another ghost? No, I said, no ghost. He says, I'm in the toilet. I just fell and I hit my head. And I am still alive. I think I want Jesus in my life. In the toilet. So I let him in the toilet to accept Christ, okay? So you either see a ghost or you have a hard knock either way. Come to know
Ya,
Jesus.
jadi ada dua macam saudara ya. Ada yang bertobat gara-gara kelihatan setan, ada yang karena jatuh dan kena toilet bowl saudara ya. Tapi intinya sama-sama terima Tuhan Yesus.
Okay, so you either come to know God through one of these ways, okay? Now, I want to tell you what I learned about engaging people. Okay, so Salmai,
Ya.
there are, okay, forget about the word love because we use that, okay? So I want to say listen, learn, and lead. Listen, learn, and lead.
Jadi 3L tentang pikiran yang sehat tadi ya. Yang pertama dengarkan, kemudian pelajari apa yang dia katakan, pimpin.
Okay, so this is what I learned. So Engage 2.0, first thing is I relearn how to relate.
Jadi yang pertama, Engage 2.0 adalah saya belajar kembali bagaimana untuk bangun hubungan.
I always ask myself, how can I be more personal? How can I be more personal? Because personal leaves a mark in people's life.
Ya kita belajar ya, kalau kita jadi personal itu membawa satu bekas di dalam hidup orang yang kita layani.
Right? Okay, personal. Number 2, I learn how to relearn how to engage with people.
Ya.
How to share, right? So this is something that I find it helps me a lot. Number 1, I'm always a good listener.
Jadi untuk kita bisa engage yang baik, membangun hubungan itu yang pertama harus menjadi pendengar yang baik.
Okay. To be good listener, you must learn how to ask very good question.
Untuk menjadi pendengar yang baik harus bisa bertanya pertanyaan yang baik.
Okay. So there is a formula that I do, not a formula, but there's a principle, okay? The principle says this, okay? Ask deep, not wide. Or go deep, not wide. Could you say that again? Say go deep, not wide.
Oke ya. Sama-sama ya.
Yeah.
Go deep, deep itu dalam, jangan melebar. Ya. Go deep, not wide. Sama-sama. 1, 2, 3.
Go deep, not wide.
wide.
Okay,
Okay.
now, very important. So to really listen to very well, my goal is trying to bring, let's say, DJ from A to B, right? So to help me to really understand where is A for DJ, my listen and learn is very important. So that's where the go deep, not wide. Okay? So I give you an example. Go deep means I'm trying to always listen to the heart, not just the words. I want to go to the heart.
Penting ya. Dengarkan hatinya, bukan sekedar apa yang dia katakan.
Let me give you an example. Okay? So typically, someone comes to church and then you say, hey, how was the church service today? Oh, where's Kathy? She's no more here. Okay. Kathy, oh, she's there, okay. Kathy, how was the church service today? So let's say Kathy say, very good, right? And then you walk away, hey, good. Pastor Benny, Kathy said, church service is good. Okay? Normally, we are happy with that. But for me, I still don't know what is good. Correct? So go deep. Go deep is, I call it asking 7 questions. Or if you read the book called Barcelona Way, it's the same thinking. You know how when you go deep 7 layers, you get to the heart. So for example, someone say, okay, I come to church. How was the church service? Very good. So the technique is very simple. Using their answer to ask again. Oh, what was so good about the service? Simple. Not difficult, right? And then, so let's say they say that, hey, service was very good. What's so good about service? I like the singing part. Ronnie was singing, I really like the singing. I really like the song. Oh, really? What part of the song you like? Okay? Now, so sometimes they'll say that, oh, y'all was singing the song, what? I go wherever you go, like Liverpool lah, the song like Liverpool one. Wherever you go, I go with you. By the way, that was written by Malaysian one, our team, okay? The Liverpool song, like wherever you go. Oh, yeah, okay, that was our first worship song, okay? Yeah, okay. Why do you feel the song was so good? What was it the lyrics? Was it the tune? Right? So you just keep on asking. So maybe he will tell you that, because when you sing the song, it reminds me of a particular thing that I'm going through. Now you get close to what is very good. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. You get close. So it may tell you something like, I don't know, during pandemic, I felt so alone. So I don't know, when you all sing the song, I just thought life would be different if there are people walking with me. Now, you get to the bottom line. Go deep, not wide. What is wide? Wide is like that, nah? Oh, so what is nice about the service today? Oh, the song. Hey, what about our sound? What about our lounge? What about our message? What about my happy birthday pastor? Was he good looking? What about my facility? Go deep, not wide. You only go wide when you cannot get any more from the deep.
Oke. Ya. Jadi prinsipnya kalau sudah nggak bisa lebih dalam lagi, baru melebar. Ya.
The thing is, you must know what's in their heart. I can give you tons of examples. Okay, so for me, I'm very particular. I move away from you're a sinner, you need a savior. I want to know what's in your heart first. So that I can lead. Okay? So I'm very particular. So my church member will come and say, Pastor, this is very good. And I said, no. I said, no, I don't understand. I still cannot get to the heart. Go back and ask this question some more. You know what I'm saying? Until I can feel what is a heartfelt answer, then I think I know how to lead. So recently, I led a person by the name of Darren to Christ. Darren is the regional manager for Monday.com. Do you know Monday.com? The management software?
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, he's the Monday.com for Indonesia region. So he flies to Jakarta. I'm not too sure about Surabaya. He flies to Jakarta all the time. Okay. So I met him because the girlfriend visited our church and brought him along. So I met him in church. So whenever I meet him in church, I will exchange number. Okay, so I was showing to Pastor Benny. If you look at my contact number, whenever I meet someone new, so I will put G22 because it's gas year 2022. You will literally see hundreds of them. Because everyone that I meet, I'll become friend. As long as they're willing to exchange number, I exchange number. Okay? So, met up with him.
Untuk supaya tahu ya, ini praktikal sekali ya. Jadi yang ditemui sama Pastor Tim diajak kenalan di tahun 22 itu di kontaknya beliau itu ada tulisannya G22 ya, Gas 22 ya. Jadi dia tahu semua siapa yang diajak kenalan di tahun 2022.
Ya.
Kira-kira gitu ya.
Now I got to put the month because too many October G22 October G22 November. Okay. Then the other thing that I do is I'll write down the person's name, and I write down who are the person that brought him. Okay. So I tell you what, a simple practice that I did just now. I met up with when I saw Noor just now, and I don't know what is Noor's wife's name. So she told me Yu Yun. So now I added Yu Yun, see?
Oke. Pastor Nur, Surabaya, Yuyun.
Yeah. So just now Yu Yun wasn't there. After he tells me Yu Yun, I immediately added. That's the way I do it to remember as many names. Very intentional.
Jadi mengingat nama itu disengaja gitu ya.
Yeah. So I saw Darren. So I exchanged number. Darren was willing to meet up for a meal with me. So we met up for dinner. When I met up for dinner, Darren told me this. Okay, he says, I asked him how was church, Then he said it was okay. It was quite refreshing, So I said, have you been to a church before? He says, oh, I have. So I said, what was your experience with church? Because I wanted to know what is his A, right? So that I can bring him to B. So he told me honestly, Pastor Tim, he says, wasn't positive at all. He says, the first church I went to, I helped to raise fund. Rumors have it that the pastor took the money. The second church that I went to, which is 6 months ago, I was sitting there. The pastor said, who among you do not know God? Lift up your hand, stand up. So he says, I lift up my hand. And then he says, for the next 5-10 minutes, he says, I felt the pastor shame those who do not know God. Telling, because you do not know God, you had so much, you miss out so many things in life. He says, I almost walked away from the service. I felt I was a second-class person just because I do not know God. He says, everything that I experience about church makes me not wanting to know who God is. So that night dinner, I apologized. I said, that's not who it is. I said, I'm so sorry. I apologize profusely. I make sure I pay for the dinner, thank him, whatever, all of that. So I cannot find entry point because it was all shut. I needed to win back his trust. So I went back to how to relate, right? So I tried to find what is something that he likes. You know what does he like? He likes Chinese song.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. Afterwards, okay, scary, okay? So never mind, okay? So I happen to also like Chinese song. So I can show you the text I had with him. For the next couple of weeks, it was exchanges of Chinese song. So I say, hey, this Chinese song, I like it. Because this Chinese song tells the story of a broken relationship, blah, 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 And then, so in every of the Chinese song, I tell him why I like it, why it was meaningful. That's the beginning point that I had with him. So we exchanged. So we sort of, through Chinese song, we became friends.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then somewhere along the journey, then I told him, I said, hey, you have been disappointed by what men represent who God is. If only you get to connect with God, not men, not even me. So I told him, if there's one point in your life, you are desperate, you talk to God, not men, not even me. You go to God yourself. So I give him a sample prayer. Dear God, there was one time he was in Indonesia. He could not fulfill his quota. He was so depressed. He prayed a simple prayer. Dear God, whatever. He slept that night full of the peace of God. The next day, or a few days later, he texts me. He says, I have never encountered such a peace ever in my life. You know, one thing leads to another. 1.5 months ago, he said yes to God. Today, I'm doing one-to-one with him.
Saudara nangkep ya saudara? Ya, jadi intinya aja, inti sari-sarinya ya. Jadi karena dia kecewa sama gereja, jadi entry point-nya ini kan susah gitu ya. Karena dia merasa pendeta sama aja. Mulai dari Chinese song gitu ya, terus kemudian ditanyain pastor Tim, kamu kira-kira mau enggak untuk pernah enggak connect sama Tuhan pribadi? Kalau kamu membutuhkan sesuatu, kamu bisa doa sendiri. Enggak bahkan harus hubungin saya. Dia di Jakarta, goalnya enggak nyampe, targetnya dia doa, dia merasakan damai sejahtera Tuhan. Dan dari sana entry point-nya akhirnya sekarang one-to-one sama Pastor Tim.
So to engage, I am very particular. I must listen, go deep. Number 2, I must really to learn why and what their belief is all about.
Jadi saya mendengarkan pada saat ini dan memastikan kenapa dia percaya apa yang dia percaya. Gitu ya.
Yes. So I give a couple of examples. I met one of our, right now today he's our church member, faithful, serve in the audio. He used to believe that man is created by alien. Yes.
Ya, jadi dulu dia percaya manusia diciptakan oleh makhluk luar angkasa, kayak Mr. Bean gitu kali ya.
Prometheus, the movie Prometheus, Alien. Yeah. He knows the author, the producer, his belief, So the first time I heard that he believes it was alien that created us, I really wanted to know. I wanted to know which alien. So I really asked him, I said, how do you know which alien? Is there a website that tells you this alien created like that? Is it the alien, the more come out, the alien, predator alien? Is it the cartoonish alien? How do you know? So, it took me a while to really listen and find out exactly where he is before I help him to understand that why created by alien doesn't make sense. So I find that I'm very particular. About maybe a couple of months ago, I led someone who actually believes that the sun is God, sun. So every day, 9 a.m., they stand under the sun and they have the sun scripture. They actually read and pray under the sun. So they absorb the power of the sun and then they read the scripture. So as I listen and learn, okay, I didn't say it's wrong. I want to know how it works, correct? So then I asked all kinds of questions. One of the questions I asked is, how is it like when it's raining? No sun. Then the person say, it's very true. When it rains, I feel less confident in life. I said, oh, okay. Right? Okay, so then, now I know this person, the sun or whatever, right? So the way I lead was very simple. I told the person this, what if I tell you, you get to meet the one who created the sun? If I get to go Dr. Mahathir, let's say he's the Prime Minister, I don't have to go through any member of parliament. I can go straight, right? Right. So I said, what if you really can talk to the sun, the one who created the sun? The person looked at me and said, well, I don't mind, I don't mind. So the person came from discovering God. Ended up, she's now with our church. Wow. No more the Son, but the Son of God.
Wow.
I find that to lead a person, you need to know where they are. What is the pain point?
Ya, jadi
very important.
Ya, penting ya untuk tahu di mana dia dalam hubungannya dengan Tuhan apapun yang dia percaya. Tadi yang bagus adalah Kadang kita kalau orangnya udah ngawur gitu, terus kita ketawain. Aduh. Tapi ini kita harus belajar didengerin setidak masuk akal apapun, kita dengerin sehingga kita tahu di mana sebetulnya apa yang ada dalam hatinya. Ya, itu
So,
poin.
in a Chinese culture, one of the most common roadblock we find is this. Okay, one, I don't mind Christian, but I need to my parents. I need to pray to my parents. What do you call that?
Jadi kalau Chinese ini kan gini, saya mau sih sebetulnya jadi orang Kristen, tapi saya ada sembayangan di rumah. Terus gimana? Siapa yang nyembayangin orang tua kan gitu ya? Banyak kendala seperti itu ya.
Yeah, I need to pray to my ancestor. So I will never become a Christian. So I will always do this. And thus far it has worked quite well actually. I first of all narrow down. I take the variables of parents away. Okay, I say, okay, if there is no parental equation, would you accept God? So a person say, yep, I will. So that's very important because you want to know where is God in a person's mind and heart. Okay, and what is stopping him.
Oke. Jadi intinya tadi dikatakan kan masalahnya orang tua. Jadi Pastor Rin tanya, kalau kita kesampingkan dulu ya, kalau hanya antara keputusan kamu, tidak ada orang tua nih, kamu siap nggak untuk terima Tuhan Yesus?
Okay.
Itu ya, jawabannya ya.
The second thing that I do in life generally is I want to help people to understand. No matter what subject that you're thinking about, when you added the lens of God, in God's mind, it's always higher and better. Okay, that's a very important principle. I always do that. So I said now, the reason is because you really love your parents and honor your parents. Correct. That's why you want to pray for them, right? Yeah. Now I want you to know, you will even honor and your parents even way more if you understand the heartbeat of God for parents. Then I give you an example. The Bible says 10 commandments, honor your parents. Proverbs says, if you don't honor your parents, the bird will come and pluck your eyes. Jesus at the cross, 7 last words. One of them was reserved for my mother. I said, hardly anybody at deathbed say something. I said, Jesus. That tells you how much God would feel for parents. So I want you to know, when you become a Christian, the way you will honor your parents, upgraded. Okay? So first of all, I established that 2 things. One is, you desire God. 2 is, if you come to know God, God will upgrade the love that you have parents. All of us want the best for our parents. Correct? Now, I said the difference is this. Once you know God, you will actually love your parents even more. Okay? Then I asked him the third question. Okay? The third question is this. Have you ever in your life disobeyed your parents before? You do something, your parents disagree, but you did it anyway. Answer is?
Of course.
Of course, everyone has, right? When you were young. Don't skip school, you skip school. Don't this, do that, right? You do all that, right? Okay, I said we have all done that before. I said the challenge is this. I said now you are looking at God through your parents' lens. Therefore, you cannot say yes to God because I cannot disobey my parents. I said, if you were to look at your parents through God's lens, if you were to change it, what you experience with God, you really want to share it with your parents. So I established that 3 things in that journey. You know, thus far, everyone have said yes to God. And then, after they say yes to God, then they need to work with the parents. Then I teach them the next thing. which is to do a good dinner, honor the parents, and break the news to the parents that they now become a Christian. The worst is those who put the Bible at the bed there. The mom come and clean the room. Oh, there's a Bible. Is my son going to church? I call that ninja Christian. You know what I'm saying? So the parents is guessing, what happened to my son? You know, whatever, right? Don't do that. I told the person, you do a dinner, you honor your parents, and you tell them something happened in your life that you now come to know God, and God has really helped you. You honor them. Okay? You know what? I had so many different stories of how they become a Christian, and now some of them, the parents are discovering God. And they have to work through, for example, one of them, the most painful one. The parents, he is the only son. So when he become a Christian, actually the parents was afraid they were abandoned. So they told the son, you can never become a Christian. So one day I coached him, I said, talk to your parents, dad, mom, actually, what's in your heart? What are you fearful? So the parents say, we are fearful that you become a Christian, you abandon us. He told dad and mom, you're going to stay with me. You know, he affirmed his love, whatever. And then on his wedding day, he told his father and mother before the wedding, he says, Dad, Mom, today is the last time I will hold the joystick. Moving forward, I will not abandon you, but I will not hold the joystick anymore. So today, he's growing in our church with his family, no longer holding any joystick. And the next thing is he's going to have the parents to come and stay with them.
Wow.
My point is this, a good engagement must know where is A, how to bring them to B.
Okay. Jadi kesimpulannya adalah engage yang baik itu tahu di mana posisinya sehingga kita bisa membawa dia ke tempat yang kita mau. Ya. Jadi bagus sekali dan ini juga sering kali terjadi di antara kita. Resistensinya ini dari kalangan Tionghoa ya. Kalau jadi Kristen nanti orang tua ditinggal segala macam. Perspektif itu yang kita perlu ubah dulu. Tadi dikatakan bagus sekali, seringkali kita ini yang menghalangi orang-orang ini adalah dia melihat Tuhan dari lensa orang tua. Nanti orang tua saya gimana. Tapi kita mau membawa untuk bisa melihat Tuhan dari melihat orang tua dari lensanya Tuhan, ya. Jadi kembali poin yang Pastor Tim ingin tekankan ini adalah fase yang sangat penting. Kalau kita salah masuk dan biasanya kita kan ngomongnya gini, ya itu sembayangan itu penyembahan berhala itu enggak layak di hadapan Tuhan. Tuhannya orang Kristen ini jauh lebih besar daripada semua berhala yang ada. That's it. Habis gitu kita enggak ngomong lagi sama dia. Ya, jadi ini penting sekali. Ya.
Okay, so don't have a salesman mentality. Okay, so a salesman, you're trying to sell the same product.
Ya, jangan punya mentalitas salesman yang mau jualan produk.
Be a tour guide.
Tapi mentalitasnya guide yang mengarahkan dia.
So the difference, for example, if I come to Indonesia, okay, I come to Surabaya. So Pastor Benny said, actually, Tim, what do you like to eat? So let's say I said, I like to eat seafood. Let's say, okay. Then he says, but there's this chicken steak, which we went. I like chicken. Okay, but let's say, okay. Chicken steak is very nice, okay? It's like a steak, the sauce is very nice. No, you must try chicken steak, you must try chicken steak. But I tell you, I like seafood, let's say. A salesman forces you to try the steak because you're a salesman. A tour guide, you like fish. Okay, you know what? Let me find what's the best one so that you get to experience seafood. When it comes to engage, don't be a salesman. You're a sinner, you need Jesus, you're a sinner, you need Jesus, you need a sinner. Don't be like that. Be a bit more open. From a theological perspective, I think this
Ya,
one, yeah.
jadi mentalitasnya tadi jelas ya. Jadi jangan jadi mental salesman. Salesman ini yang penting jualan, yang penting Injil, yang penting dia tahu orang berdosa, dia terima Tuhan. Tapi kita harus jadi seorang guide yang membawa dia dari satu titik ke titik yang lain. Kira-kira gini, dalam tinjauan teologisnya.
Yeah. From a theological point of view, the cross, in past many years, there are many metaphors to describe the power of the cross.
Ya, dari kalau kita melihat kepada salib, di masa lalu banyak metafor yang menggambarkan tentang kuasa salib itu.
So all of us are familiar, the cross is where sin is paid and sins are forgiven.
Ya, kita familiar dengan di salib itu semua dosa kita diampuni dan dosa dibayar lunas.
But the cross is also the place where forces of darkness are defeated.
Tetapi di salib itu juga semua kuasa kegelapan dikalahkan.
The cross is also the place where people are delivered from any tyranny of power.
Di salib itu orang-orang itu dibebaskan dari segala macam kuasa yang membelenggu.
The cross is also the place where a hero died for a cause in humankind, in human being, in human race.
Tetapi Injil juga berbicara tentang seorang pahlawan yang mati buat umat manusia.
When you understand cross from all different metaphor applies to different groups of people.
Jadi metafor yang macam-macam ini tentang cross, tentang salib itu beraplikasi kepada orang yang berbeda, aplikasinya berbeda, metafornya berbeda.
For a race that has been ruled by a tyranny, the cross sets them free. It's different. The picture and the emotion is different from I'm a sinner, I need a savior.
Jadi untuk suku bangsa yang ditekan segala macam, beritanya itu berbeda kalau kita katakan bahwa salib itu membebaskan kita dari segala belenggu yang menekan kita dibandingkan hanya saya adalah orang berdosa yang perlu keselamatan.
Even from a new generation who saw Christ die a heroic act, it can be something that appeals to their heart, that wants to know more about Jesus.
Bahkan untuk anak-anak muda, mungkin metafor bahwa Tuhan Yesus itu melakukan tindakan yang heroik, yang mau mati, mau korban, itu lebih menarik daripada metafor yang lain.
So my point is this, at some point they will come to understand they're a sinner, they need a savior.
Tentu pasti ada poinnya di mana mereka harus sadar mereka orang berdosa, mereka perlu diselamatkan, oke?
But that may not be the entry point for the gospel.
Tapi itu bukan jalan masuknya ya, tidak harus itu jalan masuknya.
So you go back, you Google different models or metaphor for the cross. You can see there are many pictures that was painted about why the cross can be attractive.
Ya, jadi ada artikelnya 8 metafor tentang salib yang kita bisa pelajari, yang bisa diaplikasikan untuk orang-orang yang berbeda.
So what I do with my pastors is this, okay? We spend a lot of time case study.
Saya dengan para pastor saya memberikan waktu yang banyak untuk melakukan studi kasus.
So every time we meet as pastors, the first 1 to 2 hours normally we talk about the service.
Ya, kalau kami 1-2 jam pertama mungkin berbicara tentang gimana kebaktian hari Minggu.
We talk about the flow.
Yeah.
We talk about, how can we better this? Online, everybody looks so ugly. We need to make up our face. We talk about the worship has to come before the offering. Then after offering, we should do this. How we are when we meet our leader. We try to write. So I came to my pastoral team. I said we put too much emphasis on what we do on a weekend.
Ya, jadi pastor tim ini mengatakan kepada tim pastoralnya, kita ini mengevaluasi ibadah itu waktunya terlalu banyak. Kita evaluasi harusnya begini, ini harus ditaruh segini, mukanya harus di make up gitu ya. Kalau sudah begini terus mau diapain saudara? Di make up juga ya.
So I said,
begini kan?
we potentially notice things that nobody notices. Nobody bothers.
Ya. Kadang kita begitu partikular dengan hal tertentu yang jemaat juga nggak peduli dengan hal itu sebetulnya.
I say from now on, we spend maximum 30 minutes. But we create the rest of the time to talk about discipleship.
Jadi kami mengubah evaluasi ibadah maksimum 30 menit, kemudian bicara tentang pemuridan.
So every week when we gather as pastoral team, and we do that with all different layers of leaders, we will always ask ourselves 3 questions. Okay?
Jadi setiap kali kami bertemu ada 3 pertanyaan yang kami diskusikan.
Is there a story to tell?
Apakah ada cerita yang perlu diceritakan?
Is there a question to ask?
Apakah ada pertanyaan yang perlu ditanyakan?
Is there a lesson to learn?
Apakah ada pelajaran yang kita bisa pelajari?
And all to do with discipleship.
Yang berkenaan dengan pemuridan.
We learn as a church to move to as discipleship as we can. Every layer of leaders.
Kami beralih menjadi lebih kepada gereja yang memuridkan dalam setiap tingkatan.
We make everything possible so that relationship can be created, can be done. And then we learn how to engage. So engage 2.0 for me is not difficult, but we must be very good at it.
Ya, jadi kami ini berubah untuk membuat bahwa hubungan ini sesuatu yang engage 2.0 itu sesuatu yang penting. And it's not hard, but it's not difficult, it's not hard. But you got to do this and do this very well. Ini bukan sesuatu yang susah, tetapi harus dilakukan dengan sangat baik. Kita harus jadi ahli lah di dalam hal ini.
Okay, so first of all, a renewed desire to include people, to relate people powerfully, personal.
Jadi yang pertama, kerinduan untuk membangun hubungan dengan orang lain.
Second, I do listen, learn, and lead, and I do it very, very, very well. Very, very sharp.
Jadi yang kedua, belajar untuk mendengar, terus kemudian learn, belajar, dan meng-guide orang itu dengan sangat baik.
Yes. So it is in leading people, once you listen, learn, and you know well is leading, it's where we sit down together and we talk about it. How would you lead different? What is the best next step for this person so that God can enter his world? We talk a lot about that.
Ya, jadi kalau kita udah belajar untuk listen dan learn, kemudian kita mulai diskusikan gimana kita lead orang yang macam kayak gini dengan cara yang terbaik. Itu yang kita diskusikan.
Okay, I am going to take we're going to stop here. Question, if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Oke, dari sudah belajar ini, ada pertanyaan nggak?
Yes, no. Sorry?
Please tell us some more about it.
Okay.
The agenda. How can you invite these people to come?
Okay, Ken. Okay, discovering God is really a subject by itself. I can engage there, but it's not for everybody because discovering God is the way you're going to lead it. Okay, so there's a philosophy ahead, but I can answer here, but I'm not too sure is this the best platform. Let's put that question aside. Okay, but any other question on listen, learn, and lead? Anybody? You got a scenario. You don't know where to go forward from here. You know, I think these are the things that maybe I can be very helpful because all the 200 over of them that I got involved all present different scenario. Yeah. So if you have, yes.
Jadi pertanyaannya tolong difokuskan ke 3 hal ini ya. Listen, learn, lead tadi. Ya, karena mungkin pertanyaan saudara, apa yang saudara lakukan terus kemudian mentok, ada skenario tertentu bisa dibantu karena Pastor Tim sudah punya pengalaman dengan 200-an orang secara pribadi, ini kan berarti macam-macam nih kasusnya. Mungkin ada yang kasus yang saudara hadapin ini bisa dijawab. Kok orangnya mentok ya, diajak ngomong gini kok malah enggak mau, malah yang kayak begitu. Ada di antara saudara?
Yes, if there is. If not, then I'll answer no, okay?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sam. I'm currently working. So I have an old friend of mine. I knew her back from university.
Bisa nggak pakai bahasa Indonesia, Pastor Tim nangkep ya, supaya lain yang nggak usah pertanyaanmu nggak usah diterjemahkan. Ya.
Oke.
Bisa, Pak.
Oke, ya. Jadi saya punya teman dari waktu di perkuliahan. Tapi sekarang sudah lumayan jauh, nggak terlalu dekat lagi. Waktu saat itu, waktu di perkuliahan, saya dekat karena satu teman satu kelompok pertemanan. And then sometime after, kita udah nggak deket lagi karena saya merasa bahwa dia menemukan lebih banyak mungkin emotional support atau waktu dari teman-temannya yang lain yang mendukung dia. Jadi teman saya ini, she's a lesbian, dan aku tapi aku menunjukkan bahwa aku tetap menerima dia. Tetapi memang ada saat-saat di mana saya merasa dia lebih dekat dengan orang-orang yang mendukung pendapatnya dia dan cara hidupnya. I want to reconnect with her, but I'm not sure how.
Okay.
Thank you.
So your question would be, she's a lesbian, and reconnect with her. Okay, so first of all, does she know what you think about that? Does she know what you think about her? Does she know what you or the Bible thinks about lesbian?
Are you asking if she knows?
Yes.
Dia pernah menanyakan. Yeah, she has asked me that question and I have told her.
Okay, and what was your answer to her?
I answered that memang kalau secara Alkitab kita kita tidak menyetujui, bukan tidak menyetujui as in accepting her, tetapi gitu.
Okay. Now, this is a difficult one, okay? But maybe this help. So I tell people this, when it comes to the homosexual, first of all, you must understand this, yeah? God did not pick on homosexual, okay? So what you want to know is, all of us are sinners. So I've got someone who asked me, so homosexual go to hell or go to heaven? I say heterosexual also go to hell. Nothing to do with homosexual. Okay? So first of all, you must help them to level the playing field. Homosexuals are upset because they felt they are picked on. So when you look at 1 Corinthians, when you look at the list, the Bible is very clear. Thief, homosexual, we were all part of that. So I am no more righteous than the person. So I help the person to understand this. It's the same level playing field. When sin entered the world, all of us are messed up. For some people are messed up, they are more greedy. For some people are messed up, they are more stealing. For some people they are messed up, they lie more. For some people they are messed up, they are more jealousy. For some people are messed up in the area of sexuality. We are all the same. God wants to touch us exactly where we are. Whether it's all the same. Okay? Now, so help them to understand same playing field. Invite the person in who they are to encounter God. So if they ask you this question, so was the Bible very clear that homosexual is wrong? I generally answered it as such. Okay? I don't know this answer, every one of you would agree. I will answer as such. The Bible is very clear. It's wrong, just like any other thing that displeases God. So, same thing, playing field. I will also tell them homosexual, theological world is an ongoing conversation. It is an ongoing conversation. Meaning, in the theological world, and all of you know that, there are people who stood for, there is a space of expression for that. They are theological world. There are big theological brain. I don't buy it. I don't. But I admit it's an ongoing conversation. So my posture is to get this person to include God in their world and take that journey. The best person, I think, that talks about both theological world and a personal journey about that is Wesley Hill. Have you heard of Wesley Hill? Wesley Hill is a theologian. He wrote the book called Washed and Waiting. It's one of the best books to read. So he is full-blown homosexual. He tells people that he's fallen from grace and he kept himself pure. He believed that that's not the will of God, but he will live with his sinful state, but he doesn't practice. That means he believed that he's a sinner. He will believe in God. He will trust that God one day will deliver or not deliver him. He wrote the book called Wash and Waiting. Any homosexual, you read the book, it will help you because he has very difficult questions he has to answer. So you can YouTube him, Wesley Hill, and you can hear his talk, but it's difficult to understand because their brain is a bit too big. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Intinya saya berikan summary aja. Saya rasa itu hal yang baik karena seringkali kita terjebaknya adalah homoseksual masuk neraka apa masuk surga. Ya sama masuk nerakanya dengan seorang pencuri yang ataupun tidak pernah mencuri tapi iri hati itu membunuh dan itu sama. Jadi playing field-nya sama. Karena kita kalau tidak terjebak jadi sepertinya itu dosa yang paling buruk. Ya, jadi sepertinya orang Kristen ini benci dengan orang-orang homoseksual. Lebih dari seorang pembunuh bahkan. Yang lain gitu ya. Jadi itu yang tadi dikatakan. Jangan terjebak kepada satu jenis dosa ini membawa kita ke neraka, kira-kira gitu ya. Tapi playing field-nya harus sama adalah karena kita ini berdosa. Semua kita. Yang enggak homoseksual, tadi dikatakan heteroseksual, also go to hell. Oke, bukan gara-gara homoseksualnya, tapi karena kita ini berdosa memang. Nangkep ya, itu yang penting. Jadi supaya kita enggak terjebak dengan yang masuk dalam seperti itu. Memang tidak sesimpel itu hari-hari ini. Oke, tapi saya hanya ingin membuat kita jelas di sana. Jangan masuk dalam perdebatan yang itu tadi. Ya, lesbian, ya.
So actually for me, I've journeyed with at least 7 homosexual. When I say I journey means I personal journey. I'm not journey from far. I actually walk with them. They talk with me. The first one I met was, I have to know. In fact, I mean, he's a guy. I need to know if you put my hand on my, do you feel aroused? I got to ask him when you go to a swimming pool, do you feel aroused? I had hard conversation with almost all of them. I know about this world quite well because I journey with 7 of them at least. Yeah. So the only thing I wasn't comfortable was because I tell people it's an ongoing conversation. The theological world, and it is. Yeah, but I know my stand very clearly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Ya, jadi yang tadi dikatakan, saat ini ada satu bagian besar dari pemikiran theological yang berusaha untuk lebih terbuka terhadap homoseksual. Sekalipun Pastor Tim, saya juga enggak di sana, tapi supaya kita juga tahu ini sedang dalam diskusi, pembicaraan dan lain sebagainya. Oke?
Yeah. Okay, any other question? Any other question? Yes.
Saya mau tanya, Pastor Tim sedang pengalaman pada penginjilan. Saya cuma mau tanya, teman saya banyak kan orang-orang yang tahu Tuhan Yesus, tapi kalau saya bagaimana cara saya untuk supaya dia mengenal bisa menerima. Terima kasih.
Okay, so you have a lot of friends that know about Jesus. Then your question is, how can I help them to say yes to God? Okay, so you see, questions like that are very generic because they know about Jesus, right? You need to fill in a lot of blanks. That means to know Jesus and to say yes to Jesus, you need to know how much they know about Jesus. Why are they not saying yes to Jesus? In order you know how to lead. So some people, they tell you they know about Jesus, but they may say that, I know about Jesus, but I don't think I need him. I know about Jesus, but he is not what I want. You need to have a bit more information. So a good conversation like, let's say DJ, right? Hey DJ, Dad is a pastor, and I just really want to hear from you, from your heart. When you think about God, what comes to your mind? So here it is. Maybe DJ will say that God is very selfish. He took my father away. He's so busy at church. I don't want him. It could be real. It could be. So there is many things that could be in DJ's mind that I need to know before I can lead him powerfully. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need more that kind of engagement first. So like right now I'm doing a Discovering God. There's a particular individual that I know this person, I met this person 2 years ago in a Christian event. So I asked this person, then she said, Pastor, remember me or not? I saw you 2 years ago. Then I said, wow. I said, 2 years ago I met you, someone invited you to a church. I met you, I remember you. I said, after 2 years you still haven't said yes to God. I said, can I better understand why? Can I better understand? Because she came for Discovering God, right? I mean, so obviously she wants to discover God. So she gave me 2 reasons. One is the boyfriend, which is a very staunch Buddhist. But she said that is secondary, which means that the boyfriend has allowed her to say yes to God. I said, what was the second reason? The second reason is, I'm very lazy. So I said, what do you mean? I'm lazy to wake up on Sunday, to go for church, I said, then you come to my church. Our service starts at 11. It's really for lazy people like you and me. Sleep late, I said, if you miss that, we got a 5 o'clock service as well. Right? I said, I said, why don't you do this? I said, you're so close. Because you cannot tell me exactly what is one thing that stopped you. Besides being lazy. I said, why don't you come from November now all the way to December, 5 weeks? We are in a series called God is Not Far. God is Near. I said, then you decide. See, I don't know will she become a Christian or not. But she took the bait. She said, okay, for the next 5 weeks, Pastor, you see me in church 11. Now, she potentially say yes to God in the 5 weeks. Or at the end of the 5 weeks, she said, I need to extend another few weeks. Or she said, maybe this is not from me. And I now ask her why. So, the next step doesn't mean they say yes to God. But for her is to say yes for the next 5 weeks, she will commit to come to church. And I said, every week you come, I'll be there to host you. I'll connect you to some other great sisters in our church as possible. And then let's start with that. Yeah.
Good. Ada pertanyaan lagi? Nangkep tadi ya? Karena kalau saya terjemahan, saya juga lupa udah panjang segitu ya. Ya, tapi saya percaya saudara menangkap intisari dari apa yang dikatakan.
Okay. 5:15. I don't want to keep your. Okay, go ahead.
Iya, jadi dari pengalaman pribadi kayak saya dari lingkungan yang cukup kecil, jadi bukan exposure untuk dunia luar dan ininya nggak terlalu banyak, nggak terlalu luas kayak gitu. Tapi punya kerinduan untuk ya menjangkau orang-orang yang di luar. Jadi mungkin bukan cuman dia Kristen nominal, tapi benar-benar yang sampai yang nggak percaya kayak gitu. Nah, kadang kendalanya adalah bagaimana untuk bisa relate dan juga mengerti dan juga punya istilah interest yang paling nggak ada common ground gitu. Tapi kadang kesulitan di situ. Jadi ada kalau misalnya pun mereka tahu mereka punya interest apa, tapi saya nggak punya interest di situ. Jadi kadang untuk relate susah kayak gitu. Dan untuk beberapa hal juga misalnya interest mereka yang cukup secara fundamental itu kita tahu itu nggak berdasarkan firman Tuhan, nggak berdasarkan kebenaran firman Tuhan. Dan akhirnya secara tidak sadar saya sendiri punya respon yang secara otomatis yang tidak yang agak kayak mental lah kayak gitu dari mereka. Akhirnya jadi ada kayak satu space yang susah untuk dideketin ke mereka kayak gitu. Nah, itu bagaimana untuk mengatasi itu?
Boleh kita setuju ini pertanyaan yang terakhir yang saudara yang nanti di dalam sesi ini. Kalau ada yang lain mungkin setelah kita selesai, kalau enggak tanya sama Tuhan, Tuhan jawab saudara. No. Okay, yeah. But do you understand that
Okay,
question?
I sort of. Okay, first of all, I am easy one with time. Finish those who need to go. Those who want to stay back, I'm more than happy. I told Pastor Benny I'm here to serve. So I can serve until midnight, no problem one. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm easy. As long as it's meaningful, I'm here to serve you. It's as simple as that, okay?
Yeah.
So I think if I'm hearing her correctly, just the space of common interests that you struggle with, correct? Okay, now.
I think there are two things. First, she grew up, practically she grew up in church, limited unbeliever friends.
Okay.
So how to extend? Okay?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, and the second thing is the interest. Yeah.
So, like I say, I don't have unchurched friends, right? So, what I do, I value meeting new friends. Okay? So, every new friend friends of friends of friends of friends, whoever that I meet, they are willing to exchange number, I'm willing to become a friend. That's number one. Number two, I make sure I value add into their life. I make sure I value add. Number three, okay, this is where community helps. So in our church, we are very intentional to create many engaging platforms. So we have the entrepreneur one, which is done by the entrepreneur. Those who, entrepreneur, they have a growth mindset. If you are working for an employer, the growth mindset is lesser. By the way, just a reality. If the life group leader is an employee and you're leading entrepreneur, sometimes entrepreneur will vomit blood. Okay, I don't know whether you face this. So, all our entrepreneur is led by entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is like that. When I do one-to-one with entrepreneur, we sit down. Pastor, how many sessions? 7 sessions. Let's fix the date, 7 weeks. Let's fix 7 dates. And they never fail. Live group, they fix the whole year. And they show up every time. Entrepreneur, growth mindset. You get the employee. So next week we try lah. The entrepreneur will call me, Pastor, I cannot live in this life group because they cannot decide. They are too spontaneous. I don't know you face this, but I tell you, it's an insight. Never let an employee lead entrepreneur. They will never follow because they are aggressive. So, okay, so anyway, so we do entrepreneur group, we do hiking group, we do board game group, we do badminton group. We had so many groups. So whenever I meet someone who have a certain interest, I just point them. We got those who makan group only. Every week, just look for makan place. Seriously, it's called the makan group. Yeah. And, we just... So my point is, if you have no friend, you want to be able to go to some of these to really meet new people. You must make yourself uncomfortable to do that. Yeah. So, draw a big circle of friends. Okay, some people would say, Pastor, I listen to you, I also get tired already. You got so many people to connect. Do your best. Yeah. I like connecting with new people. Yeah. So I tell you, for example, I did my Wheaton. Okay? My Wheaton, I need to interview 5 people who do not know God. And when I interview them, I can only ask questions. I cannot share anything for about 10 minutes. So I give them the question. I only ask question. Out of these 5 people, 2 of them became a Christian. So one of them that I met, I asked question. After I asked all the question, then I said, I know I'm not supposed to answer, but you mentioned something that the perspective of this person about Christianity. I said, is it okay if after the Zoom, I get to just tell you my thoughts? I need to ask the permission. The person said, okay, can. So after that, I share my thoughts and I said, and then this person said, oh, I can't recall what was the question, but this person said that I'm in between I'm looking for a job, in between job. Actually, I'm very free. Oh, I said, if you are free, I'm actually doing a Discovering God. 2 weeks from now. I said, if you can come, I buy you a meal. The person said, okay, I want a free meal. I come. Ended up, accepted Christ. 1 year, this person accepted Christ. I still remember, in a prayer meeting. This person left at night when I came back, text me. He says, thank you for introducing Jesus to me a year ago. What a funny story. I was responding to your question about what I think about Christianity. You invited me for this one. And today, I was crying in the service. I've met God in such a powerful way. Totally changed my life. Thank you so much for bringing Jesus into my heart. My point is, every opportunity I get, I'll do it. Okay. All right? I don't know, we can stop here. I'm more than happy to answer no's. Those who want to listen can listen. If you have more questions, I'm happy to answer. I leave it to Pastor Benny.
Oke, kita sudah 5:20, jadi untuk saudara yang mau meninggalkan tempat ini silahkan. Kita akan berdoa, kita akan tutup. Saudara yang masih pengen bertanya, silakan tinggal ya. Enggak bisa jam 12 saudara, cuman mall tutup jam 9.30. Oke. Jadi ya kira-kira itu batasannya. Oke? Enggak jangan dong. Masa tamunya suruh sampai 9.30. Ya. Oke. Yuk kita satukan hati kita berdoa. Tuhan, kami mengucap syukur, kami mendengar kisah-kisah, kami belajar, perspektif kami dibukakan. Kami minta Roh Kudus memeteraikan setiap pelajaran pada sore hari ini. Setiap kami Tuhan bukan hanya mengerti amanat agung, tapi kami juga boleh sampai level kami boleh merasakan itu. Menjadi bagian daripada kehidupan kami. Terima kasih Tuhan untuk sore hari ini. Kalau sebentar kami akan berpisah, kami berdoa Tuhan, Engkau sendiri Tuhan yang memimpin kami, setiap kami. Kami menjadi orang-orang yang sungguh-sungguh merasakan hati-Mu untuk amanat agung. Dalam nama Tuhan Yesus. Amin. Selamat sore,
Amen.
Tuhan Yesus memberkati. Oke, silakan saudara boleh meninggalkan tempat yang mau stay, silakan saudara. Ya, oke, God bless. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. So many things to digest and to ask. It's a change. Yeah, relearn. That's the thing. That's the thing. Relearn.